Hello and welcome to the Gust podcast. I'm Gazerine2K, your delightful, humble host. Next to me is Steuben, your other delightful, humble host. Steuben, I'm feeling all the positivity today. How are you doing, man?
I'm alive.
He's alive. He's alive.
Yeah, all right.
This recording's going on a little bit earlier than normal. Of course, anyone listening to this, it won't really matter when we're recording this. But for me, this is 9:30 a.m. Steuben, what time is it for you?
12:36 p.m.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I've been up for a couple hours. You've been up for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No work today, so you're not at the card shop. How's that been going though? How's your week at the card shop? Everything good?
It's a ghost town.
Oh God. Well, I mean,
where people are waiting for releases. I mean, we've had some pre-registrations for the League Cup for next month and all that stuff, but there was a Digimon release, I think, that was like 2 weeks ago. The set dropped last weekend, and like people have been slowly buying some of those cards and sealed products for it, but we have way too much Digimon, and I think the owner finally is pulling the reins back on how much he orders, since the community's kind of dying off in general, not just like at our store, but like that game it's fading fast.
Isn't that what Bandai typically does though?
Yeah, because all the players have moved away from Digimon to One Piece, and then they announced that Battle Spirits game, which is out now, and it had like that $1 million prize pull thing going on for it. But why would they just not give the other games like that kind of prize pull?
Time to breathe.
Like, they've had Dragon Ball for all these years, and it still sells quite well for what it is. There's still a tournament scene for all of these games. But why would you bring a game that's failed in the West 2 times back to the West and say, hey, come on, $1 million? I don't get it.
Yeah, it seems like Bandai dips their paintbrush in too much ink. Does that make any sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
Like One Piece is... Let it... Go ahead.
I'm not just going to say that it seems like they don't let one card game breathe long enough to, really be successful. They'll put hella effort into it promotional wise, and then after a while like, okay, on to the next, and then they'll stop giving releases and just support for that game.
I mean, they're all still getting product. No,
I know that, but it seems like the
support and stuff. But yeah, they're not getting the like that $1 million prize pool or whatever that like they gave to the Battle Spirits that is clearly a flop yet again.
Yeah, I'll just stick with Pokemon, and I might start dabbling in Magic. I don't know.
Magic, wow.
Weekend and
Magic the Gazering.
Magic, it could be. Might change my screen name, Magic the Gazering. But no, I was at a 3K this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Happened to be at Dark Side Games in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I was commentating with the lovely Pokey Emmy. We all know Emmy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Dark Side, that's my first time at the shop. I meant to go the week before, but couldn't make it. Had to do some stuff for my grandma. So I got there last weekend, and I get there Friday night, and Josh Hatter, shout out to Josh and Andrew. And I finally met Don, the owner. But yeah, Josh showed me around, told me when we'll be doing a Saturday and what Emmy needs to do and this and that. And I look at the store, and there's Magic posters, and there's Magic cards, and there's a whole wall behind glass of like the most expensive Magic cards. And just like, yeah, this whole row right here is probably worth, 8 G's just on its own, just these 5 cards. And I was like, this is huge. And then they have like a booster boxes, and they're not all full. They're missing a few packs. People buy them, but they have booster boxes in basically each set that's ever come out. And those boxes go for like $400, $500 on their own, empty boxes.
Yeah.
And
no, I mean, Magic's
massive.
Yeah, it's huge. And
yeah, it is.
They just
and I looked from when I played in high school.
Rings collaboration thing
there's another one coming up. That's what I love about Magic. They'll collab with different entities and properties, and there's another one coming up for Doctor Who. They're doing a Doctor Who set. They did Walking Dead before. They did doing Doctor Who. They did Lord of the Rings, and they collab with anybody. But yeah, I looked from when I first started playing back in high school. I played for like a year maybe in high school, and I looked at the expansions. I was like, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I played during 7 expansions. Okay, cool. And the sets I played were like on the first row and the second row, and everything else is like it's like 5 rows after that. I'm like, wow, I've been out the game for a while. That means I played early on.
Cards at all still?
I do.
Ooh, you might have some money.
I have to have someone check that out for me. But yeah, I was at the Dark Side 3K. It went pretty well. There was an interesting deck. I'll talk about it later. There was a very interesting deck that made top 8. I was surprised by it. But yeah, we the booth is set up nicely there. It's a great time. If you guys want to head over to darksidegames.com and use code word GAL, they can save how much, Zubin?
10% on singles.
10% on singles. So make sure you check that out. Shout out to Darkside for the sponsorship. They are getting Obsidian Flames very soon, and they have pre-releases coming up this weekend. So if you're in the Las Vegas area, head over to Darkside Games in Las Vegas, Nevada. Sign up for the pre-releases. They have 2 back-to-back on Saturday, and I think they have a following one that following Wednesday, I believe, or Saturday. Have to double check. But yeah, I was in there. The shop is great, man. Shop is great. Plenty of room to play. They own like 4 different buildings. They have a cell phone case kiosk. They have another room just specifically for bulk. It's a big place, man. I want them to turn into basically what like a Tabletop Village is and Full Good Games. I want them to be like that for like the West Coast. You know what I mean?
I mean, technically, isn't Tabletop Village on the West Coast?
That's the Pacific Northwest. It's different.
It's still the West Coast. I mean, come on.
My dream is, and I got to talk to Josh and Andrew and Don about this. When they become super duper big, I move to Las Vegas and I become their tricky gym.
Okay, man's got a plan already. He's got.
Yeah, I got a plan out.
Instead of that nest egg.
Instead of being, Andrew Mahone, I'll be Andre Mahomes. I'm thinking that I put on like a cap, wear it backwards. What's going on, guys? Andre Mahomes here. Something like that, man. That's what
you're gonna get us canceled and
again.
You're gonna scam everyone. It's just move along. This is a failed bit. Come on.
It's not a bit. It's my dream, man. Leave my dreams alone.
Your dreams are just bits because you go to all these Twitch channels and throw 25 of them at everybody once at a time.
But no, man. But yeah, I do like going to people's Twitch channels, man. Showing support. I was in a stream the other day, and dude was playing this wacky deck, man. And I checked out his YouTube, plays wacky decks all the time, bro. I think you know what I'm talking about, man.
Yes. Yeah. If only they weren't.
LDF. That's right. I'm talking about LDF,
oh my
man.
God.
Yeah.
LDF.
If only he wasn't in this call the entire time and having conversation with us, Gazer. One of these days, the Blues Clues intros are just gonna have to die, man.
Never.
That was a good segue. That was a really good segue. I like that. That was it. I have to back it. I can't lie. That was a good segue.
Thank you, Sean.
But then he threw shade.
Yeah.
Then he threw shade.
Game's the game.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like I said, For the Win is the UK version of LDF. LDF is the Canadian version of Dark Intro Gaming. It's okay. We have different versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the OG. And he's been back at it in the past. Back. Yeah. In the past like 6 months, he's been full on. So it's cool to see it again.
He's back. Speaking of back, Super, you want to let everyone know who's back on our podcast today?
Yes, we are joined today by For the Win TCG. So this is their second time on the pod. It's been like 14, 16 months, something like that.
Somewhere around there. He was like our third or fourth episode.
Yeah, you were like early on, like in the baby pod days.
We didn't know what we were doing. We had 7 listeners a week.
Now we have a few hundred somehow. So
I still don't know what I'm doing though. So that didn't change. Nothing. Some things never changed.
Thank you, everyone who listens. Of course, I have to mention we got tagged on Twitter this week by Pokemon Crossroads. It's like a article site that talks about podcasts and like pushes them out. And like they had an article about like reviews where it's like, everybody at the end of the podcast, blah blah blah, reviews, blah blah blah, and they like just highlighted a few of these reviews. And, there's 2 normal ones and this third one. I don't know what platform this is on. The title of the review is I like this podcast. They gave it a 5-star review. And the description was the best Pokemon TCG podcast. But the username was GazerSucks69. And they put this in their article. And I don't think they realized what they put in their article.
Oh, Jesus.
I told Suma, I said, hey, if it gets this recognition, I accept it. That's fine.
And it's also dated from last year.
Take the L.
It's dated for
all our reviews are from like a year ago.
Yeah, so like I don't know where these reviews are, if they're on Apple, because I don't have any Apple products. I can't see any of the Apple reviews. So if you guys are leaving us reviews on Apple, let us know if this is you, because I have no idea. I can't I can't see anything on the Apple side. I have no Apple products whatsoever. But just the fact that they like put this article, we're like the first one in the article. Like there's not like we're the first pod in the article. Our review is the first, and then Gazer Sucks 69. So,
this podcast is great. I love this one for TCG. Gazer Sucks 69.
Yeah. So
yeah, that was interesting. I didn't know there was such thing. I didn't know such thing as Pokemon Podcast Review Month. I didn't know that's the thing, man. Or Pokemon Podcast Month, whatever it was. It's kind of neat.
News to me too. So shout out to them for highlighting us. But the fact that Gazer Sucks 69 made it into their article is pretty legendary. I'm not gonna lie.
Gazer Sucks, wherever you are, man, we appreciate you. We salute you.
I wish I had an Apple product to leave reviews like that.
So you're saying you'll make burner accounts?
No. I just wish I had.
You guys heard it here first. Steuben will make burner accounts to give positive reviews to anything you ask for. Just hit up Steuben.
Yeah, no, that's more of a Gazer scam.
Oh, a rate fee. You know what I'm saying? Get a bit of moolah for it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. $10 each.
Is that right? Set.
$10 for 10 words. Dollar a word.
This podcast good. It fun.
It fun. Caveman reviews coming soon to a new YouTube channel near you. Oh, actually, you know what? Shit, that's actually a genius idea.
Write that down.
You've heard of girlfriend reviews. How about caveman reviews? Caveman go, drink grog, like game, 5-star.
Product good. Make me feel good.
Work effectively.
But no, Sean, man, it's good to have you back, man. It's been over a year.
Appreciate
it. A lot's changed for us, but I know a lot has changed for you personally.
Yes.
Go, just catch us up on everything we've missed, man.
You have to wrap a whole year's worth of content.
Real quick.
16 months.
Give us a year's redo quickly, Sean.
All right, you've got 30 seconds. Now go.
And go.
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing all right. Jesus, from back then, just been keeping the grind up, man. Keeping it going. Keep pushing. It's paid off well by the looks of it. Gone through a few little micro journeys, I guess you could say. Joined the Shuffle Squad at one point. Honestly, just really involved myself. Went to NAIC, which is my first ever event. That was an amazing time. And really just, that's what I've been up to recently in terms of this stuff. Keeping the grind going, keeping on top of it as much as I can. And also trying to evolve my content in better ways too. That's been a massive priority of mine recently. It's just like really trying to max out the content for the viewer, less in terms of, you know, how much they enjoy it. Because usually when you're making content, it's usually like how efficient is it in the creation process and how good is it for the viewer. That is always a bit of they always kind of clash a little bit, right? It's like if you make it more efficient for yourself or easier, efficient isn't the right word. If it's easier for yourself, often it doesn't make it as good for the viewer. Whereas if you put more work in, then it works out better for the viewer. So I've been recently trying to switch over into that of putting more effort and stuff. So that's been a big priority of mine in that journey too. So that's what I've been up to, just as a quick summary for the past year. Yeah.
I feel like it's been paying off, man. I see the difference. It just hit me right now. Steuben, I think when we first had him on, he only had what, 5K?
4 or 5K or something like that. And now
it was like 5K. It just hit me. I'm like, wow, that was
well over double.
Yeah, you only had 5K at the time. I remember talking about that. And I was like, wow, that's impressive. You know what I mean? Because Steuben, you were sitting there with like, what, 700? And you were kind of, you know, bummed out about that.
Something small. I don't remember.
Yeah, then he was at 5K. And we're like, wow, that's big boy numbers right there. Good job, Sean. And you're talking about, well, you know, since I'm big now, I remember you made that statement for something. You like, you know, I look at some of the views I get, you know, I'm like, oh, I get disappointed about those views, but now I look at these views now, I'm like, oh, okay, you know, like you weren't bragging, but you were like, you know, you're talking about the growth from when you first started to even having 5K. And even now, from 5K to close to almost 14. I'm sure you, it's got to be mind blowing, man.
It's
what
really
are the emotions you feel about that? So, like, what are some of the emotions you feel going through all that?
It was really nice to achieve the goal. I remember when I last spoke to you, I think the goal was 10K by the end of the year. I think I achieved it in February, so just slightly after the end of the year. So it was nice to achieve that goal that I set for myself. Because, hard work pays off, as simple as that. So, like now, I'm on the next goal, right? I want to get to 20. I want to get to 100K eventually. Like I'm shooting for the stars now. Funnily enough, mainly because of the advice of my son. I talk to my son about it a lot, and he's quite interested in that kind of stuff, right? Because he wants to YouTube when he's older. And he's like, yeah, go for it, man. Nothing's impossible. And this is a 10-year-old kid, you know? And I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Go for it, man. Just go.
Yeah, he's kind of pushed me forward in my goals as well. But anyway, going back, yeah, it's somewhat a surreal feeling. But honestly, I think it's just the best way I could say it is it's quite nice. It's quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the growth though, like that, just to well over double and then just that amount of time. Your editing also recently has been killer. I love the cuts and everything. It's been super awesome to see the growth.
I'm glad. Yeah, the cuts I was very scared to do. I was very scared to do that because I was sitting there looking at my content, looking at everyone else's content as well, going, what's the next step here? Like, you know, it's been just record intro, play game, you know, play game, end. And mine's still kind of that. But I was like, what's the next step, right? Because the scene has to keep evolving. Right? It has to keep growing in some sort of direction. And I thought, well, for me, after I watched an interview. Do you know Marcus Brownlee, MKBHD on YouTube? No, he's like a massive YouTuber. He's like 10, 20 million stuff like that. He did an interview with Mr. Beast, did a tour of his like studio and stuff, and asked Mr. Beast one question at the end. He said, you know, what's the one advice you'd give to YouTubers? And this is Mr. Beast. You listen, right? When he gives advice.
Yeah.
And he said, make the best videos you possibly can, and everything else will follow. Subs, all of that will follow. Just make the best videos you can. And I was like, I looked at myself, went, well, I'm not doing that. You know, I'm making videos, fine, but I know I could do more. And I was like, I'm going to do that. And that's kind of what motivated the change. So I'm glad it's worked out. As I said, I was scared. I did have a bit of backlash at the start because it is quite quick, right? You know, it's like, you know, this happens. But I think it pays off. I think
because you still follow along, and it feels
you
like
still get it. Yeah.
It feels like we're getting the content just faster but more effectively, like you were mentioning.
Yeah.
So
and you can still see what's happening. I made sure a big priority of mine was to make sure you could still follow. That was massive for me. I was like, right, we can't sacrifice the integrity of the game and what's being played there, and the journey of that game for the sake of just being quicker. Because the goal wasn't to be quicker; it was to be more engaging. That's what I wanted, higher engagement. Because the original videos weren't doing it for me, because I wouldn't watch them. Right, that was a big indicator. Would I watch my own videos? No. Now, yes. That's the big difference.
That's interesting.
For me.
So that's so interesting. So you would make a video and you were like, okay, this is good enough. And if the tables were reversed, the tables were turned, you wouldn't watch that video yourself, huh? That's interesting.
I was doing it just to get a video done, right? I was still enjoying it, but it was just to get a video done. But now I'm like, I can go a week without making a video, and that's fine. As long as the next video I make is going to be one that I want to watch myself, and one that I would be proud of releasing, effectively. Going, well, I put my skill in there. I did what I could to a reasonable
good old quality over quantity debate.
Yeah. Yeah. So like my frequency is reduced to like every 2 days a video now, but it's worth it. It's so much worth it in my opinion.
Wait, you're still getting content out there. You're still getting what, 3 or 4 videos a week out almost. And it's top notch. You know, you come out with some very creative decks. You've been putting in a few shorts. I've seen the not Wordle, but
Pokéx Word.
Pokéx Word. There you go.
Yes.
I've been seeing some of those shorts like that. So you're doing your thing, Sean. So I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So in the time that we have had you on, and we've definitely changed a little bit. And so when you were first on, you didn't get to do the icebreaker thing that we always do with the first time guests. So even though you're not a first time guest, we still want to do our icebreaker, the 6 prize turn with you. We're going to shoot random questions, rapid fire. And we're going to take turns going back and forth between Gazer and I. And they may or may not be Pokemon related. They could be anything. Just blurt out the first come, first serve kind of answer to it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay.
Gazer, do you have your questions? Are you going to get mad if I've
2.
allegedly stolen them?
I have 2. I'll think of a third as I'm going along. And if you steal them, I will be upset. You're right.
You want to go first then? I'll let you lead so I don't steal your questions. Because I prefer to like just come up with mine off the top of the dome.
Yeah, well, I mean, these 2 I came up with, in the last 20 minutes. So yeah, the third one I have to just come up out of nowhere. But okay, this one, Sean, question number 1. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate chip mint.
Interesting.
Mint chocolate chip. Yeah.
If you weren't creating YouTube content, what would you be doing right now?
making music.
I think we talked about that before.
We have, and I've seen you on one of your very few live streams talk about music before. I wish you stream more often. Second question from me. Least favorite Gen 1 Pokemon?
Least Voltorb.
Why?
It's a Pokeball. It's boring.
I would say Electro is even more boring. It's you turn it upside down.
But he's got a bit of a better look on his face. Voltorb just looks basic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Pokeball with eyes and eyebrows.
Doesn't mean I don't like him. You just asked my least favorite. That I would say Voltorb's my least favorite. Doesn't mean
he's a basic ball. You heard it here.
What is your favorite non-Pokemon franchise in media?
Oof, God, that changes a lot. Currently, RuneScape.
Like modern or like classic?
Classic. Old school.
Okay.
We're gonna see some RuneScape content pretty soon, or what?
Oh God, no.
Okay. You have to use sea shanty in one of your videos, please.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like the background track.
I might sneak it. Maybe at the end. Yeah.
Okay. All
Maybe
right.
the intro. Sea Shanty Trap.
Yeah.
I think there's a trap version of it.
There you go. Perfect.
I've been following. This is kind of off topic. I've been following Skarzig. Adam Watson. Lately through on his Twitter and his Twitch and stuff like that. He plays so much of everything, man.
Yeah.
I've seen Runeterra. I've seen RuneScape. I've seen Pokemon. He just does everything. I'm like, this guy just does it all.
By all means.
Yeah.
All right. My last question. When for the win Gazer collaboration?
We could do a stream collab.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm down.
Let's
I'm
go.
up for it. Maybe play some games and stuff. Sure.
I feel like that's not a good like 6 prize turn question. That's more
That's
of
a
like
great question.
It's more of
That-
like you
That is
taking the
coercing me.
opportunity.
That's what it is. that is putting me on the spot, brother. no, I'm down. Though. I'm down.
Okay. Final question then. What is the next EX card that you're most excited to build a deck around?
Glimora EX. For sure. Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah.
I love disruption stuff. So yeah.
Are you thinking like Gita in there to power it up,
Gita.
or
That or it's a two energy cost attacker, right?
2 fighting?
That
Yeah,
or just straight
2 fighting.
manual attachment, paths, judges, just go down that road. I really enjoyed those kinds of I've done that with Neuven, I've done that with Slow King. I think just doing that's fine. You have Ascension as well, don't you? Still, so you could, I guess if you're going second, you could do Ascension. But yeah, I think just a simple attach, evolve, Raihans, EXP shares, stuff like that. I think that's probably what I would go for, rather than anything too funky.
Yeah, it seems to be the most weird EX, I think, out of everything.
Weird? You think it's weird?
In comparison to the other cards, yeah.
Glimora, yeah, the wording is so strange. I get it, but it's very extra.
I'm gonna show you guys. We'll talk about some Obsidian Flames a little bit later. But Gita is the card I'm really excited for. That's the card right there. I'll explain to you why. I'll explain later.
Yeah.
But that was the 6 prize turn. To be real, Sean, you handled that very well. You weren't flustered. You weren't, nothing got to you. You handled that very well.
Appreciate it.
Well, I mean,
as you can tell this year, taking a lot of thinking.
You put him on the spot, Gazer. That's what you did.
Yeah,
He's still handled that very well, though.
I would
appreciate it.
No collab.
No collab.
Not
I'm
today.
down for collabs, man. Anyone reaches out, I'm up for it. I love that idea, to be honest with you.
Just be prepared for the chat to troll you even more than they normally do, because with all they do with Gazer is just troll him the entire time.
I get it. I see it. Yeah,
Bleeds over. I see it. She was like, I've seen it before. Yeah,
I'm there, bro. I'm in the shadows, bro. I'm there.
It'll bleed over to you a little bit. They'll be like, wow.
Bro, my own comment section like trolling me all the time, bro. It's cool. I get it, man. I get it.
They
like
do.
being
I mean,
kind of the meme.
Early on, when you used to misplay like 5 times a game, it was so easy to. It was so easy to troll you about stuff.
yeah, man. Bring it on. It's fun. I think if they enjoy that, that's worth it for me.
Because it keeps them coming back for more too. So.
Yeah. There's that, but also just at the end of the day, it's fun. I like that.
Yeah, I wish I had haters, because they're also free views.
I think of LDF. LDF has what's his name?
Samuel Simcoe. Yeah.
Samuel Simcoe, yeah.
Huh?
You know about that? The one guy
No.
he has this dude that just always comments and it's always like super negative. The Samuel Simcoe or whatever.
Yeah, he mentioned it to me actually when we did the pod. Yeah. I remember now. I don't really have that. I have a guy who watches me all the time and constantly comments what I've done wrong in terms of playstyle in that video, like the misplays I made and stuff. Like very like, oh, you could have done this, you should have done this, you should have done this, But they're never hating. They're just extremely critical every single video.
Sean, I took my notes and at the 2-minute mark, you should have got like that. But no, LDF just hates. LDF plays really bad decks. I don't know why you guys watch him and why you guys put up with his nonsense. Little Dark Fury shouldn't be making content. This is terrible. Stuff like that.
Yeah, no, sod all that. I mean, the most hate I think I've had so far is I think when LDF raided me on Twitch and someone said, I don't want to watch him, he's annoying. And that's the worst I've had, honestly, which is fine by me. I don't mind that.
Yeah. Not built for everyone. That's fine. Everyone's not for everyone. And I've learned that and I live with that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Fine. Everyone's not for everyone.
I've had loads of suggestions about what I should like. Someone said they didn't like my laugh. And I'm like, I'm not going to stop that just for your preference. I'm being myself, man. You know what I'm saying?
People
so you get that,
when
but
it comes to stuff like that. Like you can't change how you're going to laugh. Like that's just who you are.
It's not exactly at that point. You're trying to please someone, and then at that point, you're just going to end up at a dead end because you can't please everyone, obviously. So,
people. Yeah, as the chat says right now, laugh better.
Not better.
You're breaking the fourth wall.
That was too good. That was too good to not respond to. That was perfect. That was absolutely
perfect. Shout out to
perfect.
Tube, man. Shout out to our homie.
I was also told, I read a comment on my video, was it yesterday or the other day? And someone said I was dangerously close to laughing like Seth Rogen. I have two laughs. One that's very like sharp and aggressive, and one that's very Seth Rogen-y. I've noticed.
I mean, anybody can laugh like Seth Rogen. We can workshop this right here. I'll teach you how to laugh like Seth Rogen.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
So you start with like a hiya, like a ninja noise, and then just bring it down, and then do it faster, like hiya.
It's got to be a deep kind of roll.
And everybody can Seth Rogen laugh. Yeah, exactly. There you go. We've workshopped it now. Yeah. Everyone that's listening to this can laugh like Seth Rogen at home with us.
If you guys want more Seth Rogen laugh lessons, please contact Steuben. Hit him in his DMs.
I honestly like my dream when I was younger was to be a voice actor. So
I mean, I think that's like everyone's dream at some point in time.
No, not mine.
What?
Especially now with like all these.
I never watched a cartoon. You never watched a cartoon and say, "Hey, I want to do that. I want to do that."
No.
What?
No, I haven't. No. I've enjoyed it, and I respect it by all means. It's far harder than people would say. I would expect or would think, but I never wanted to do it.
I wish I had more opportunities to like put it out there. Like I can't illustrate or animate anything like that, so I have to like find someone. Hey, so anyone out there ever wants a like a voice for something? Hit me up. I would love to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We have a local out here, and she doesn't play too often. She plays maybe once or twice a month. Her name is Mouse Alchemist. She does voice acting for a lot of you guys know the Pokemon YouTuber Lockenstocken? What's the name? I can never say his name. I can never say his name right. Lockenstocken.
Never heard of it.
No, he's a good YouTuber. But yeah, she does voice acting for him, and he's a big YouTuber. He's very good too. I can't even type his name. I'll send you guys a link later, but he's a great YouTuber. There's a lot of different videos about Pokemon, usually a video game related, just lore related. A lot of lore videos. But she does a lot of his voice acting. He does other things. So I kind of know someone who's kind of famous. Just saying.
Yeah, I kind of know someone.
Gazer with the humble brags, as always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we do have on our itinerary a little bit of a jump, I guess, because we talked about the YouTube group and like what caused it already. So Gazer put that in a little bit too far. Good job, Gazer. But the next thing on here is
you want to start making these?
Yeah, sure. Is the shuffle squad. So ultimately, what happened with that? You were in there. And then a flash in the pan, and then you were gone. If you're allowed to talk about it, if you want to talk about it, We're very curious as to what happened ultimately.
Yeah. I mean, I did make a video breaking it down. It's pretty much that. I mean, everyone in the Shuffle Squad was super supportive. PJ in particular, he's popped in with me every now and then. He's been fantastic. Who's one of the managers at the Shuffle Squad. I spoke to LDF briefly after leaving as well, and he shared some support there. Basically, what it was is I was taking on too much load, I think, for myself at that point, where it was affecting my channel, and I was effectively required to do certain things with being with the Shuffle Squad, which you can see it yourself. People tweeting out, do this and do that. Just sponsorship requirements. That's normal and not unheard of. And me being, and I was mentioning the fact that I was chasing ADHD, but I was looking into chasing ADHD, which I'm going through the process now, which is why I got the blood work done today, Gazer. That was what it was for. So me recognizing that the fact that I may have that, basically I'm very forgetful. So having loads of small requirements, I struggle a lot to keep on top of it, especially with trying to keep on top of my day-to-day life, right? Of, being a full-time father, being a content creator, all that kind of stuff. I would just forget these things. And I didn't like letting people down in that sense and not pulling my weight, as a part of the team and being rewarded the same, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get the benefits of being in the Shuffle Squad by doing half the work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to avoid it. I'm just very forgetful in that sense, unfortunately. Not very organized at that point in time. And I believe, did I leave shortly after my granddad passed or before? I think it was just after my granddad passed. So I was kind of just wanting time to myself anyway. That was another thing. But ultimately, it was just the fact that I wasn't really able to fill my requirements. And when I, let's say, needed to get a Shuffle Squad video out, that day I wouldn't upload a video on my channel. So it was hurting my channel a bit. So those are primarily what it was. So it's just personal. It's just the fact that, I needed to kind of stay in my lane a bit more, kind of I'm broadening out too quickly. I need to zoom back in and go, right, okay, my channel, that's the focus. Nothing else. Because when I'm my own boss in that sense, then the only person I can let down is myself, and I can sort that out easily, right? Other people, I'd rather not. So that's kind of the main reason, I guess you could say at the time. I'm sure there might be more to it, and maybe I better explained it back then, but that's what I can recall primarily.
No, it all makes sense to put yourself forward first.
I think it's super important to identify that.
Spread yourself out there to where, like, if it's affecting you and your content and your own mental health even more so, then it makes sense. I get it. Now, compared to now, if they re-offered the invite, would you accept it this moment in time with the way things are for you?
Probably not. Not with any disrespect to them, of course. I love what they do, but not with the workflow I have. Mainly because of the workflow, if I'm honest with you. It's quite difficult for me to find time for even my content nowadays with things. So probably not, because I think it would still affect, because time is limited in some ways for me a lot of the time. So I'd probably still say no, but with respect.
You guys heard it here first. Sean will turn down the Shuffle Squad at the drop of a dime. He's too big and too busy for them. You guys heard it here first.
Freaking
I made it big.
Every time they announce somebody new, MWDC comments, it's Gazer every time. Like the silhouette can have like somebody with like a long flowing hair, and then they'll be like, it's Gazer with the wig on.
It's gotta be Gazer.
Gazer really wants to be a Shuffle Squatter.
I just want to be wanted, man. I just want someone to want me.
All right, Wilson.
But now I'm fine with Darkside, man. Darkside wants me. I'm fine with Darkside.
Hey, listen, whatever, as long as you feel like you belong, that's what it is. Honestly, the Shuffle Squad team, though, was so lovely. I could not give them enough props, just in general.
Yeah.
Like, even before deciding to leave, they were so nice.
Yeah, then I got to meet PJ finally. And, we talked to PJ plenty of times. I finally got to meet PJ, and, he's great people. One of their members is one of my locals. Shout out to Dre. Primetime Wizard, we're really cool with. We're all cool with him. So they have a great group of people.
Yeah.
I got to meet Claire's Laird NAIC. I'm in her newest video, by the way.
Yes,
I'd seen the name Claire's Laird. I've seen her on Twitter. I knew who she was, but I didn't know her, and I got to meet her. And she's very personable. So Shuffle Squad is great people.
Oh, big time. Lovely group of people. Very good. That's the best way to say it. Good.
But me personally, I'm not above selling out. I will sell out to anyone and anything. So I mean, if anyone wants to send a check my way, feel free.
Yeah, BP's on line 1. They want you to drill your backyard. They found oil there.
Deal. Let's do it.
Moolah. Moolah.
Oh man. All right. So the last time we also talked, you said you owned 0 physical cards, didn't have a deck. How about now? Do you have any physical cards?
Does he has to?
I have physical cards, but no deck. No.
But you went to
Still no
EUIC,
deck.
didn't you?
I did. I didn't play though. I spectated. I wanted to go for a kind of an entry experience, an entry level experience. I know I'm a content creator, but in terms of playing the IRL, no experience, mate. So yeah, I wanted that, and then since then, I think I always had it on my radar. I've got locals. I've joined a Discord server for locals now, so I'm planning to get into it after my holiday coming up next week. But since then, I've been made aware, I think in like January, of this upcoming holiday that's coming soon. And since then, I'm like, all my money and stuff like that, it's all just been going towards that, just kind of saving up. And that's where my priority has been. So I haven't been able to do the card thing. But when I get back, I've already pretty much put the steps in to do it. My brother's interested in going now since he attended NAIC. Is it NAIC? Do I keep saying NAIC?
EU.
It's EUIC.
Yep.
He went
Jesus.
to EUIC, yeah.
Yeah, I keep saying NA. Since I went to EUIC, he came with me. He wants to get involved as well. So yeah, no, there's more steps towards it, but just never really had the time with just normal life. So yeah, that's why.
Do you plan to like adapt it at all into your content?
I did, but I don't know now. I'm not sure. I don't know how I could make it with the same, to not sound big-headed, the same charm, you know? I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off efficiently, you know? Because it's quite hard, especially with tabletop, because it's just a camera looking down. You play. Maybe you can add some editing here and there. I know Mahone's experimenting with that now, right? A lot more editing.
I mean, I've been recording like our locals and like dubbing over them and whatnot slowly, but you can't like full on give it the same love with everything else. So I get that. I've seen people like recently like have like GoPro strapped on their shoulders or whatever and record gameplay or like go live on TikTok that way.
That's quite cool. Hey, they can get some cool stuff, some cool angles, keep things interesting. Yeah, by all means. I mean, I may explore at one point or another. I definitely thought about it with PTCGL, but
that's another struggle to talk about.
Yeah. But no, I think I'll stay away from content there. Maybe vlogs and stuff. That could be cool. But
and I was gonna say that. I was gonna say and Sean, I'll just say this, and that it changed my life, my perspective on stuff. Play IRL. Just play in real life. You know, I know you have cards now, but build a deck, find some locals, or go to EIC next year and play. Don't spectate, but play. And
that's the goal. Yeah.
Different kind of thing, but it's fun. I can't even explain it. It's fun and it's different. When I started playing IRL, I was just playing, on PTCGO, and I would stream and do a YouTube video here and there. But when I started playing IRL, it's just you meet people, the interactions are cool. It's a good time. You don't even have to make that completely content, but even if you make that into a vlog, maybe like what Claire's Lair did or what Steuben does sometimes, it's added. It feels different. So I suggest you play sometime. At some point coming up, this next season. Give it a go, man. Play.
Yeah, I think I will. At EOIC, originally I thought of doing a vlog, right? And then I was like, you know what? No, I just want it to be raw. And that was a great decision. But when I was there, trust me, I wanted to play. I was like, oh, okay, like I want to be involved right now. I want to do this. I remember sitting down at the seats at the stage, watching people play, and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Met someone named Luik, I think his name was, French fella, who recognized me as I was getting on the train to the venue. I was like, me and my brother talking, cool. Like, how long do it take for that to happen? I was like, I don't know, maybe like an hour in or something. Someone might say hi. I got on the train and someone was like, for the win. I was like, rotted. Okay. Lovely guy. Helped me kind of introed me into everything and explained what was going on during it and hung out with me during that period. And the experience was so good. Was so good. So weird seeing familiar faces as well. Like I think I spotted Andrew Mahone at one point and I was like, that's Andrew. It's like, wow, that's weird. And who else did I see? I think I saw someone from the Shuffle Squad because they were in a Shuffle Squad shirt. And I was like, a Shuffle Squad. And then I think they gave me, I don't know who it was particularly, but they gave me a bit of a look and I felt a bit weird because I'm just sitting there staring at them. Like, I was there. Oh. But no, yeah, the experience of the EUIC was eye-opening for me. So it's something that, I get exactly what you're talking about, Gazer. And I did want to play. I even was thinking about participating in some side events and stuff, but I think I had to go a bit earlier before it started. But yeah, no, I want to get involved in playing. I want to get to locals, and I want to definitely do EUIC next for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, getting involved locally is super fun, and like now with like Cups and Challenges back, we've been able to like hit up all these stores like within an hour or two distance, and Emily and I have been going off and playing, and we both have points on the board. She made, which we haven't even talked about that yet, Gazer. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about last weekend. Em and I played in a stacked League Cup, stacked. Chris Fulop was in there, Andrew Mahone. There were a handful of other players. There were 48 masters, and I got top 16 with Tina and got myself 20 points thanks to the 48 player. So I got 20 points on the board, and then Em made top 8.
Oh,
Em made her first top 8 with Chimpao,
wow.
And she had to play Mahone in top 8. And she
That must be quite surreal.
she prized
She was the
3.
number 1 seed, wasn't she?
What?
She finished as the number 1 seed in that, didn't she?
She was. She started the day 5-0 and then tied in round 6.
Oh.
So she was tearing it up, which was super awesome. But yeah, she prized 3 of her 3 Chimpao.
Not 3 of 3.
In one of the top 8 games, so it didn't work out too well. He was able to just like gust up Frigibacks 4 times or whatever and just slap them around.
They're so frail and fragile.
Yeah, and then game 1 was he almost scooped, but there was a line of play that she didn't see that we talked about afterwards, and then they potentially could have had a third game. So who knows?
Break it down real quick.
What would have happened?
You said he almost scooped.
Yeah, he had an awful start. She went first, I think, and his turn 2, I think he whiffed a generator and didn't have too much going on, so there was no way that like he could like get a turn 1 2 prize KO on anything. And then she got ahead. She got down to four prizes, and then there was a line of play that she missed where she had an escape rope in hand after he took a KO on something. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a Chimpao or whatever. Where she could have promoted a Chimpao, grabbed energy, benched another one, played the rope, went to it, grabbed energy again, and then used the skater spark that she had to retreat, get the energy back, promote the Greninja, and take 2 prizes on 2 Flaffies. And then all he had, he had a Miraidon with 1 or 2 energy on it, and like nothing else had energy in play. So if she would have taken out the Flaffies, he would have had nothing. But she bossed up the Miraidon and took it out instead.
And that's
heat of the moment, like you know, first top 8. She was still excited and elated to be there in the first place, but
yeah, I'll be over the moon, man. I'll be like, yeah, sweet.
Because she whiffed points at the last 3 events we played, and the week before we did a challenge that I ran as a TO. She played and she bubbled 4-1 out of 5 rounds and didn't get points because there wasn't enough for top 8 points. And then we went to one together the day after that, and we both went 2-2 and whiffed. And then we went to one Thursday with the Sports Car Junction guys, the Triple P Pittsburgh Pokemon Podcast Beeps, and we both finished 3-2 and whiffed there as well. And then we went to that cup out in Ohio, and it was sweaty. It was a sweaty cup. Another one of our locals made top 8. One of our friends, James, also made top 8. James ended up winning the event. So like, to have 3 players that like play at my shop make top 8 somewhere else felt really good.
It sounds like the last few challenges and cups you guys have been to have been kind of, you know, some stat competition, been a little sweaty.
Yeah, we're in that weird spot where like we're between Pittsburgh, Erie, Cleveland, Akron, or whatever. So like anytime we travel to anything, there's going to be like sweaty competition for us.
Well, I mean, that only makes you better as a player, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah, nothing's free. And I think our scene over here is getting like that. Like we have people coming down from, you know, from LA and from the Bay Area, and there's some good players down there. You know, Finn Lynch, Gabe Smart, Noah Yoshida, and they come down for cups. I'm like, why are you here? I said, it's the middle of nowhere. And they're like, well, you know, points. I'm like, wow. So it gets kind of stacked over here too. I remember when I made my first couple top 8s in cups, and it was back to back. I had to go against Gabe Smart in my top round, and I lost. He was, you know, he had a good matchup versus me. But I played all my outs. I made maybe one mistake, but I played the most of my outs, and just I couldn't, you know, get the draws I was looking for. But I played very well. And he's like, man, you had me sweating a couple times. I'm like, you? No way. But those kind of competition, playing against those kind of players, make you a better player. Sean, you haven't played IRL, but you played some online tournaments recently. Have you hit any? I mean, well, talk to me about those online tournaments. And have you hit anyone where you're like, hey, I know that guy's name. That's a good player. Anyone like that yet?
No, I haven't. I think I had a phase of playing tournaments for a few months back. And that was good fun. Then I didn't play for a while. And then I played one the other day with Noiva, and that was tragic. But it was fun. It was entertaining, for sure. So no, I haven't actually come up across anyone like that, no. But when I do play, I do have a good time, though. I think the ones I don't really play in big tournaments, because I kind of just miss the big ones usually. I want to get involved in a bit next late night and see how I do there.
There's a late night for EU. It's perfect for you.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But I just miss it. But by just my day-to-day stuff, it's just not a priority of mine. So I'll have to prioritize it at some point. But when I do take part, it's great fun. I mean, usually when I play a good deck, I always tend to perform pretty well. I think I got a lot of second places in a lot of like smaller tournaments. When I play rogue deck, I do terrible, which is funny, right? Being a rogue deck content creator, but no, yeah, I do like online tournaments a lot. I do like it a lot. And I need to give a shout out to Vulcan Turtle TCG. Actually, he did a video on how to do it, how to get involved in online tournaments. That got me involved because I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, what do I do? Like, go on Limitless and then what? What like? But then he made a video kind of breaking it down. And I was like, oh, okay. And then got involved in tournament, started playing, had a great time. So I left a comment on that and I was like, yeah, cheers, man. So yeah, shout out to him. It wasn't for him, I'll probably still not be doing online tournaments now.
Yeah, Brendan's super awesome people. So he's been a good friend of mine.
I like him a lot better than 9 card, man. I like him a lot better than 9 card.
Oh,
that's very hated 9 card, all right?
Gazer with the shade. Y'all still should
9 card, he's a Donnie with a really good beard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that 9? Yeah, I love his beard, man. On point. Donnie's got it on point. Yeah,
you're not wrong.
Sick,
you're not wrong, but still.
Yeah? He's got the fade. He knows what he's doing, bro.
That's the guy with the beard. I love his voice. Beard.
He's a man. Yeah. So no, I like 9 card. He's quite cool.
So, off topic, Sean. If someone said 9 card, you're like, oh, the guy with the beard. If someone said Gazer, what do you say then?
I would say, blame Gazer.
Oh, of course.
It's perfect. Perfect.
What's
response.
next, dude? Let's move on. Let's move on. Blame Gazer, not the handsome guy. I'd even take the black guy, the guy with the glasses, the guy that smiles all the time, the goofy guy. Blame Gazer. Okay.
Yeah. That's you asked.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, the chat's kind of going wild right now, calling you.
No, they're going off, bro.
Yeah. Dropping the mode.
The old man.
Mm-hmm.
The bald scammer. The bald. Does that sound like the bald scammer? Sounds like a superhero or something like that.
Kind of.
The bald scammer. He's
like
here.
Or like a wrestler or whatever from like WWE.
Jesus.
It's the bald scammer. Yeah.
Oh Lord. So we've talked about the YouTube channel, and what are your next goals? Like, what do you want to accomplish in the next 5 months that's left in this year?
I think my goals are much more personal now. And I think they will ripple onto the channel, right? Clearly, I'm doing fine with the channel. Right? Clearly, I'm, as long as I keep posting, as long as I'm having a good time, there's growth. It's gonna happen, right? But that side, one of the goals is just to constantly try and improve the content where I can. But primarily, since let's say today, right? Just to kind of briefly go back, I mentioned the blood work, right? Here, I had a 2.5 months ago, I had a huge phobia of it. And I know it sounds irrelevant, but it does tie back in. Mm-hmm. And the conversation of having a blood test made me feel faintish. And by doing exposure therapy and CBT, I was able to do it today by myself without anything. No like numbing agent, no people there, no looking away. I watched it happen and it was fine, right? I'm going to try and focus in the next 5 months to confront things that I'm scared of that I should be confronting, just to try and improve myself, become a braver person, and as a result feel more confident in myself. And that will go into the YouTube channel, right? You would see that I'll take better risks. I'll do things that are maybe I wouldn't do because of some sort of anxiety of sorts. So I'm trying to just grow as a person now, and really push myself forwards, for this year for sure. That's been one of my biggest goals. Here's and I've been doing it for a while actually. Here's a bit of info on something that no one has known about, right? So it's kind of exclusive.
Leaks.
No one has known about. I was a
Serious?
very heavy smoker. No one knew about that, right? Probably don't look it, but I used to smoke 2020, 20 cigarettes a day, right? Very heavy. Then I went on to vaping, where I would vape I think 300 puff, 600 puff vapes a day. A ton of smoking, right? January just gone, I quit completely, stopped. And I haven't smoked since then. So since that point, I've like, okay, this is the year where I just improve myself. And that's what I've been trying to do. And everything else in life is working out, is following up with that. So that's been my priority. That will be my priority. So that's where my goal is for the next 5 months, is to just keep improving myself, understand myself better, discover myself more, and the YouTube will follow perfectly with that. That's my goal.
It's awesome. I'd love to
respect
hear
that.
it. Yeah.
I respect that big time.
Hey, I never even would have had the hunch, over a year ago when you were on, that you smoked at all. Nothing. So
Yeah.
could never hear it in like your voice or anything. So
Yeah. It was quite recent actually. I started. When did I start? It was 2018, I think, and that's when I was socially doing it. I was like going out with the lads.
Okay, there it is. I was about to ask. I was about to, personal question, like, what made you get into that? But you said it was social.
So, yeah. Socially, it's going out with my mates, and this was just after splitting up with the mother of my kid. So it was a very big, like, I was very vulnerable at that point when it comes to things. So yeah, there was that. 100%. So yeah, started doing the social smoking, and then it developed into regular smoking. Then I took on a job that was very intense and quite morally didn't sit right with me. So I would always want to go for cigarettes all the time, just to kind of get rid of that stress. But eventually got to a point of quitting, which is something that I'm really happy with. But that's where it started out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to be real, I've been there where the stresses of something you're going through makes you a little more vulnerable, a little more just, if someone says, hey, try this, hey, take this, hey, do this, you're just like, sure, why not, sure, okay, because you're just you're in a mode of just like whatever, everything's just whatever right now. Sure. So I've been there.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like my mates trying to push it on me. It was just that I was very open to new things at that point. So I lived a long time kind of as a shut-in, a full-on introvert. Really, I had a lot of anxiety about going out and stuff like that. I think in like 7 years, I went out like twice for drinks, right? Which is, for me, kind of insane. And then, I had a massive turnover of just wanting to try and do everything. And that just kind of fell into that, I guess, as one of the bad habits. There's a lot more benefits from it, but that was just one of the bad habits that came from it. But
yeah, I can completely relate. I was I wasn't so much introvert. I would go out and do things, but I wasn't more adept to drink or anything like that. And then went through a situation, rough patch of my life. This was maybe 2017, somewhere around there. And I just started doing anything and everything I could try, whatever someone was. It wasn't like I was pressured into it, but I was just like, sure, I'll try that. I'm open to anything. And now I feel a little more not like I have a little more control, but I have a little more just like I know who I am. Like you said, you have to be true to yourself and know who you are. And I know, okay, I don't like this, but I do enjoy that. But I'm not to the point where it's a addiction or a problem. But so I do have a better grasp of who I am, and I at a point now where I am more open to certain stuff. Like I tried octopus a few months back. I would have never tried octopus before, but now I was like, sure, why not? Just let's try it. And it was actually not terrible. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah. Be open.
Shout out to Lorelei, led Gengar. I went out with her and another buddy, Concrete, and one of our locals. They came down for a convention, and they said, hey, we're going to a steakhouse. We went there, and I was like, I'll just eat some beef and I'll eat some of this. Like, well, here, try some octopus. Sure. I was like, I'm at a point where I could try anything now. So
I mean, try a thing. Just don't be stupid, okay? It took me years to get off smoking, right? Years of effort, failing, constantly trying, and then one thing clicked and then it stopped. But don't make that mistake. Be open, but try and keep
I'm happy for you, Sean.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I knew I liked this Sean guy, too. I'm glad we got him on here, man. I knew I liked this guy.
PSA: if you're a kid, don't do anything at all. Just listen to your parents. Listen to your parents.
You sit down and do your homework. Do your homework. That's what you have to do.
Eat your vegetables. Do your homework. Stay in school.
Drink your milk.
Be honest.
Yes, there you go.
That's
Tell the truth.
Biggest piece, I'd say.
Oh, it's perfect. All right, let's dig into the meat and potatoes. Obsidian Flames.
Vegetables. They say eat your vegetables.
my
That's
God,
meat and
like
potatoes.
the saying. Okay.
I'm confused. I don't. Okay.
Never mind. Anyways, Obsidian Flames pre-releases are this weekend. New cards are
Yes,
on the
sir.
horizon. Let's dive in and talk about them. I know, Gazer, you've got a handful picked that you want to talk about, so take it away.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, real quick before we get started, is it me or does it feel like this set came out very just the last two sets have been very quick back to back, like just very little time to
Very
breathe?
abrupt.
Well, yeah, we're playing catch up with Japan, but at the same time, like they literally just got Ruler of the Black Flame like last week or this week
Yeah,
or whatever.
and I'm like,
They're just
yeah.
getting it at the same time we are, and I think
I like
this is to play catch up with the delays that we had last year, and the delay between Silver Tempest and Scarlet and Violet.
Oh my gosh, that delay. Oh my gosh.
Crown
that was
Zenith really didn't
horrible.
add anything in terms of like competitive viability to the metagame whatsoever.
Lugia just looked at Crown Zenith and said, "It's cool. That's fine. I'm finna just keep doing Lugia stuff." I was like, I'm so sick of Lugia. Oh my gosh, I hated
yeah,
that.
so like we're getting this now, and I'm hopeful that we slow down next year because it feels like we're like a 2 month window.
Shouldn't it be about 3 months?
It's typically 3 months.
It's usually
Typically
three, yeah.
About 3 months, yeah.
4 expansions a year, 3 months or whatever. And what
then
makes this weird?
one fun set.
What makes it weird is like
Yeah.
they got 151 back in June, and we don't get it until September.
Very strange.
So even though we're getting Ruler of the Black Flames / Obsidian Flames at the same time, we've also had it lumped in with all these like starter deck EXs that are kind of like just filler cards.
Yeah, they do that a lot, right?
And Fusion Strike happened. The same thing happened with Fusion Strike. All those like starter deck cards like Greninja and stuff got shoved in to the set to fluff it up.
Yeah,
so,
now we have like the Miraidon and the Koraidon from the starter decks that aren't good.
That's what I'm saying. As like a collector side, I don't know if this would be a good set when it comes to just opening packs in general. If you're looking,
there's Charizards in there,
Hey,
so
there's
people,
Zards.
yeah, people will
there's Zards,
people will jump
yeah,
off a bridge for Charizard cards.
Is that a Zard? And they just dive off a bridge. Yeah, but no. But yeah, I don't know. Just it felt like I think last month we were leaving EUIC, and I mean NAIC. Now I'm saying it wrong. But we're leaving NAIC, and we're talking about this and that when we get back, and I think we checked our local Facebook page, and someone was like, "Hey, get ready for our pre-release in 3 weeks." Like pre-release in 3? What are you talking about? So there's no pre-release in 3 weeks, and lo and behold, it's pre-release time now. So it's I don't know, it's so weird. But yeah, there's a few cards I'm really excited about. More so, a couple trainers. I think I mentioned it before. Gita. I feel like that card has so much potential, so many opportunities. If you guys don't know what Gita does, it's search your deck for 2 basic energies and attach them to one Pokemon. But then for that turn, you cannot attack. And in my mind, that's fine. There's so many ways to play that. You could put forward, and I think you mentioned this earlier, Sean, you could put forward a Diancie. Let it sit there in the active. And I could just charge up my basics all I want to, and now I'm good to go, Or you could, here's my plan, get onto something and then boost shake. I can't attack anyway. I might as well boost shake, evolve it. And now I have a big, and my idea is Duraludon VMAX. I have a big 330 HP, no weakness Pokemon that's, immune to special energy sitting there. If you can boss it up and kill it, good for you. If not, I'm good to go next turn with one more attachment. Or not even one, I can attach for that turn, huh? So I can still attach, Gita, boost shake, I'm good to go. And can you handle my 330 HP Behemoth? We talked about Glamora for a second. You charge up Glamora, and even though I can extension, I can boost shake. And now your bench is down to, was it 3 or 4? It's 3, isn't it?
3.
Yeah, your bench is down to 3, and I have a 270 HP Glamora sitting here, on my first turn, and you're like, well, now what do I do? Unless you get 270 your first turn, good luck. I feel like Kaparaja has, Kaparaja EX has opportunities.
Yeah.
I feel like Gita could do a lot. Gita could actually open up things for Ting Lu. I put down Gita. My Ting Lu's in the active. I don't even have to attack. I can just pass. It's fine. Use your abilities now. What are you gonna do now? I don't know. Okay, so I feel like Gita, has so many opportunities to do things. I posted this on Twitter or on X, as they call it.
Yeah.
It's so confusing.
Man, when I see it, I want to throw up the Wakanda Forever sign. I want to go like, but yeah. But no, I put something about this on when Giddy got revealed on Twitter a couple weeks ago, and that tweet, I didn't expect to get so much engagement, but people were like, it's a bad card. No, it's a good card. And, it was so divided, so back and forth. And I had to explain my, my thought process and why, this card could be good with it. And someone went and broke it all down. Well, this is a bad deck. That's not a real deck. That could work. That won't work. And it was so divided. But I feel like it still has so much potential to do some really wacky and, unique things. Arceus decks are back, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if I can tell you I can make a deck? They were not gone. They faded for a little bit. But what I told you I can do a deck without Arceus. Now I don't have to worry about that one turn of attacking and charging up and my Arceus getting knocked out. I just use Gita. And now I'm good to go. So I don't know. There's just so you can do a Duraludon without Arceus now. It's just gonna be just Dura by himself. I feel like there's so many options with this card. There's one more stadium. Where is it? The
Pokemon League one or whatever. Pokemon League headquarters.
That one adds basic attacks, right? They have to add more to their attack.
Oh, are you talking about the tool card one? Town center, or shop? The
no, I guess it doesn't come out here. I thought it came. Maybe it's not this set. But the one
for
Gardevoir.
No, not in the set. Not in the set.
That's not this set. Okay.
Yeah, they just got that as a gym promo, and that'll take.
You're right.
That'll take us months to potentially get, or they'll show.
Oh, is that the healing one?
Yeah, discard a psychic energy, heal 30 from all of your psychic types.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's not.
And then I also think Town Store could be good too. The one that go get a tool?
You mean go get 4 seal stone and then you go get anything?
Yeah, get 4 seal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that could be a good thing too. Yeah, but I'm more excited about the trainers, and then the one that punches back for 4 damage counters.
I like that. Yes.
Yeah, I think that could be fun. Pokemon wise though, maybe Zard. I mean Pidgeot. Pidgeot could be a thing eventually.
I think Pidgeot's going to go in any deck that wants to set up a stage 2. Easily.
I hear it. Yeah.
So like a 101 line?
Yeah, most likely. I think we're going to test it in Chimpao instead of Palkia and Arceus. That way you could just up the rare candy to 4 and then all right, cool. Ultra Ball for this, play Irida, get candy, and then now you have an extra free search every turn.
I like the sound of that.
It could use that consistency. Chimpao could use that consistency. You're right. Yeah, I mean, there's Pidgeot. There's the Charizard. I feel like could be pretty solid. You combine that with you make like an all Zard deck, like oops all Zards. You know what I mean? You have that one. You have the one from Pokemon Go, and you have the one coming from 151.
I think ultimately when it comes to the Charizard, you're just gonna play the Dark type one.
Really?
Even when the 151 comes out and like the Pokemon Go Charizard, I think you're just gonna play the Dark type, because when you evolve into it, you get energy from the deck. The other
but imagine you have the one from Go too. Now I'm attacking for 1 energy, 1 attachment.
Yeah, but then you're setting up an additional stage 1.
But they're all coming from the same branch, the same Pokemon.
So, but it doesn't have a Kirlia. Like there's no the Charmeleon and Charmander don't add anything to the equation.
That's fair.
Like none of them add anything. Like I think technically the best Charmander is the one from Go because you can get energy from the deck. But like even then, whoopee-doo.
Yeah, I'd
the best Charmeleon is the one with the beautiful alt art. That's the best one. Just because that art is beautiful.
Yeah.
He's staring into the sky like I want to fly one day. That's the best one there. But yeah, I see what you're saying. The fact that you can go branch off different Gardevoirs is because you have Kirlia that can has refinement. So I get what you're saying. That makes some sense.
Yeah,
something else I'm interested in. One more card is, and I'll leave it at that, is Melmetal. It's a big behemoth, 300 HP, and it can do I think 90 and then 30 for every metal energy attached. I just go Gita, right? Couple Gita cards up, and I'm swinging for 300. Unless fire becomes relevant, my weakness isn't that big of a deal. So I don't know. I feel like there's some fun. There's some fun cards, but nothing like just game changing. I guess Reverum too could be fun, but yeah, nothing game changing. Except I'm sorry, I forgot about Toad's Cruel. I'm interested in Toad's Cruel a lot. I'm really interested in that. I hope it works. Justin Basil says it's not going to work. I really hope it works.
I don't know, man. They don't look good.
What? Toad's Cruel, Fortress, blow yourself up. I Iono them down to 4. I attach 5 energy to everyone. Now I'm hitting for 280.
No, I think that would make more sense in something like Vespiquen though, because it's higher attack cost. It makes it more worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously, the Fortress is the accelerator to all your Pokemon, right?
That's already been a thing. The Toad Scroll just gives you protection basically from like effects of attacks and stuff.
That's where I think it's good.
No
I think,
Sable Eyes. No Sable Eyes.
That's it. That's
Sable Eye's
But
already been kind of on a downturn anyways recently. We've seen most Lost Zone decks just be Giratina instead, and most times you don't even use Sable Eye in the Tina.
I used to hate coming up against like Tina. So not Tina, Sable Eyes and the Lost, like Turbo Lost Zone and all that stuff. And then I picked up that like the Arceus Umbreon, and it's such a great time. You just Lost City, Gust them up, bye bye, gone, and then just do all that. So I think that being on a ladder's probably held it back a bit. But yeah, I can definitely see Sable Eye falling off, which is nice. I don't think it's going anywhere. Don't get me wrong. I think this Tina train has a stop. You know, I think maybe it'll do well, maybe it won't do well. I don't know. I don't back the Tina from what I've seen, from what I've tried personally. I think it's just piqued people's interests, and then that'll fade away and it'll go back to like, you know, Lost Flame box and stuff like that. So that's what I think will happen. So although Sable Eye's on a dip, I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
I don't see it going anywhere.
No,
I think that's probably the second best deck.
It's here until rotation, technically 2 rotations. It's not going anywhere.
Well, have you heard rumors that they might rotate all of the all the next set? Just try to make it just Scarlet Violet on. Have you heard that?
I'll be so happy. I don't.
You heard that?
I would love that, but I don't think so.
It's not realistic.
You don't think so? I've heard rumors that that might be something that might be talked about at Worlds.
Hey, if they do.
Yeah, I think with that, though, they're going to have to give you more than like a couple weeks notice, though, for something like that.
Well, that's why I said at Worlds to discuss it, and then maybe it won't happen until February, where anything that's not Scarlet Violet is gone. So all the Sword and Shield stuff out of there.
I don't think they'll do it though, because they've never, like, now that we have these regulation marks and they really want to follow along with them and keep it this way, I don't think they're going to force out 2 regulation marks in 1 rotation.
Mm-hmm. That'd be interesting, though, wouldn't it?
It would, but at the same time, the card pool would be so small.
And it might be what they want, more of an organic kind of, I can only pull from these cards. My deck's, my setup's a little bit slower. Maybe that's what they want.
No, we'll get there. But we just don't need to fast track it, right?
Okay.
I know what you mean. We want to get to that point of slower play and that more Pokemon TCG way of actually playing the Pokemon TCG, right? How it's intended. So we'll get there. I just think, that early rotation I don't think that will happen. I understand the want to get there though. I would love that, but.
Well, I mean, when Worlds happens, we'll get announced. They'll announce a new set, some type of new gimmick, if you will. And it's probably, I think it involves the Paradox Pokemon. So maybe Paradox Pokemon have some type of support system or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully it's not like tag teams, but hopefully have like trainers or supporters geared more towards them. Who knows?
We've already technically had 2 Paradox EXs.
We've had 4. We've had 4.
What are the other 2?
Yeah.
Think about it, Stu. Think about it. Audience, can you figure it out? Leave a comment below.
The Iron Treads and Great Tusk.
Great Tusk. There's 2 more. They're technically Paradox Pokemon.
Technically, so they're okay.
I think you're just like trying to like pull one over on me, man.
Let's see. Take a look at this card I'm holding here and think about his Paradox versions.
You have this thing called a green screen, bro. So all we see is your fingernails.
Look at my fingernails. Okay. Cyclizar has a couple Paradox versions, doesn't he?
Wait, you're talking about Miraidon and Koraidon?
Miraidon and Koraidon.
Those are box art legendary. They don't count as
paradoxes. They are paradoxes.
They don't count in like terms of like any sort of paradox though when it comes to like even VGC rules. Like you're talking like the deep lore of the character.
One's from the past and they're from the paradoxes. We've had 4. But no, the rest are, should be coming like Sandy Shocks and Walking Wake, all those guys. So I feel like, they'll have some type of support system for them. Maybe like trainer wise. I don't think it'll be a whole game changing, flip the paradox mark or anything like that. But they should get some type of support. And I like those kind of supporters. Like tag teams were okay, in my opinion. But I like when we had, tag team supporters and, tag call to go get 2. I like stuff like that, have some synergy together. Yeah,
I get it. Tag teams, God no, never again. But I know what you mean. Something like there's like supporter cards that back it. There's item cards that back it. Similar to what Fusion Strike technically is, right? There's things that support. It's an archetype. I know what you mean. An archetype that is based on the idea of paradox. Maybe that's likely to happen. I would say. But yeah, God no, do not bring tag teams back. Never again. No.
I think if anything, if we're gonna go off the limb and think hypothetical, like whatever the mechanic they announce, it's gonna have something to do with like actual like Terra type stuff, like terrestrial stuff.
That's the gimmick, right?
Yeah, like, and the ones we've gotten have all not done anything or not had anything special. But maybe they'll make tool cards. Like, you remember they changed how tool cards work mechanically and have done nothing with it.
They're their own entity.
Their own thing. We just got a stadium that searches for tools. We have a supporter that searches for a tool and an item. They reprinted Arvin in Obsidian Flames for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
So
maybe
the next,
Team Star Grunt too. That's important.
Yeah, the next. So maybe we'll get something about Terra tools, or attach this to your Pokemon EX and it is now this type.
That would be cool.
That'd be too broken. Probably have to attach it to a Pokemon with a Terra ability or something like, not Terra ability, but the Terra rule. I don't know. That'd be too broken. To any EX, it becomes a whole different type. That's too good.
But it depends on the type, right?
Mm-hmm. Because then they'd have to make one for every type, every card, except for they're clearly not going to do Dragon because it doesn't add or whatever. But they could make it sort of like when this card is attached, your weakness becomes this, your resistance becomes this, or they add additional weakness and resistance to those cards.
Mm-hmm. Don't be careful with that though. They would do that. That's a very thin line to walk.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
That's too
between
there would have to be something that balances it though.
Yeah.
And it's super situational. Like, okay, cool. The only reason you'd even play this is if, say, for example, like we'll say that Gardevoir is the best deck in the game, and you have this like meh water type. Cool, you can put this one tool card in there to turn your water type into a dark type or a metal type, depending on like what Gardevoir you're trying to hit or whatever. Sure, but again, I just don't see it. I don't know what they can ultimately do.
Oh, we can only wait and see, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be more geared towards Paradox. We haven't seen a whole lot of them, so they have to start coming out with them, right? I feel like outside of Paradox Pokemon, we've gotten every other Pokemon in the new games, right? Scarlet Violet. Are we missing anyone yet?
I don't know. I'd have to sit down and like look at everything and check off the Pokedox. I know we haven't gotten like Golden Go or whatever.
That's true.
And
Golden Go.
The cheesehead dude. The gold coin cheesehead looking guy. Yeah.
Gimme Ghoul and Golden Go. Yeah.
Gimme
Ghoul. Basically.
Yeah.
So who knows what they'll do?
I do like the Ice Cube, by the way. What was it? 160 damage. It's got an energy from this Pokemon during independence next turn. The defending Pokemon can't attack. What would you think about that? Like sliding into like a Chien-Pao? This is water attack.
I think
that's like a one-off.
Three for 160 is super low.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they can't attack. I mean, what deck isn't playing a switch card other than Lugia?
Guardi, right?
Guardi and Lugia aren't playing switch cards.
Well, Guardi usually taking a KO most of the time, right?
And then even then, like if they're playing basics, they can play Penny or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is still kind of in there. They got around the Mawile that way. But most decks, other than that, are playing Switch, Escape Rope, or whatever else to move around.
I think all decks are.
Maybe just for the sake of having an alternate weakness attacker, something
that's the only thing I can see it for. Just another weakness. But what is weak to fire that's like really relevant right now? Unless Toadskrull becomes like this, grade 1 top 8 deck. I don't.
Nothing.
Fire's not too relevant.
There's case for Meowscarada, but that's like no. Meowscarada is not going to pop
stop.
off.
No.
Yeah, I don't back the Meowscarada.
It's still missing something to get there. All these stage 2s are missing something. They need their like refinement or some sort of like ability or
Shady
something.
Dealings? Shady Dealings?
No, I think once the format slows down, they'll come up. Because there was do you remember Gardevoir GX ages ago? Right, that was a stage 2. That was literally the best deck in format at one point. That's because the format allowed that, and also Gardevoir was just incredible. But the format allowed with its pacing for that kind of deck to flourish. Right, allowed you to do, or like Greninja Break, for example. Right, those are decks that take so much time to set up, but the format was slow enough to allow it.
Mm-hmm.
So if the format slows down, which it will, then stage 2s will start popping up a bit more. I still think always stage 2 needs a bit of something extra.
It needs something. You're right though.
Maybe
stage 2.
I think. What's that?
Well, no, I'm just saying you're right because I think about, you said Greninja Break. That thing wasn't even stage 2. That was like a stage 3 basically. You had you could attack, evolve one of your Froakie and then water duplicates. It was a whole process, and you're right. And it was played. It was a very good played deck. And I guess the format was just so much slower. You didn't mind, methodically setting up your Pokemon that way. There's no shady dealings. There's no refinement, but you didn't mind that. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think we'll get there. I've always thought of something like a rare candy alternative, where it's like search for the stage 2 from your deck and then evolve. But there's a downside to it, like you can only play that once during your turn, or you can't evolve any other Pokemon during that turn. I'd love something like that, just to give an alternative way to make stage 2s more playable in general. I'd be super curious to see how that would play out, because all we've ever really known is rare candy or overpowered things like what's that grass stadium that have like just allowed you to evolve?
Yeah, for giant plants. Before that, broken time space. Like
too powerful. But I think we've seen cards with downsides
Wally
being played. So I'd love to see.
Wally could maybe come back where it ends your turn.
Maybe, yeah, something. I don't know, but I'd love to see a version of rare candy that is faster, but just has another downside to it, just to give stage 2s a bit of extra oomph, But we'll see. I still think stage 2s will be something to talk about. I think Meowscarada will be good at one point, personally, once the format slows down. I think it will be good. I do back it.
I mean, I know that Bouquet Magic is really good, but oh man, no.
Yeah, I back it. If it's a format similar to where Decidueye was able to pop off, which it looks like is what we're going into, then there's potential. Yeah. Obviously, it's not the same. You have to discard energy and all that jazz. But yeah, I think there's something going there. Just not now. I think it's too soon.
Yeah, we have to rotate and lose out the power creep of the V Maxes and V Stars and the Lost Zone engine being a thing. That all has to go away before like all these new cards can really flourish.
Yeah, the Lost Zone is ridiculous, man. It's I can get 7 in Lost Zone on turn 1 sometimes, and then I'm attaching to the 4 energy on turn 1.
After Scoop rotated. That's the craziest thing.
After.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the maddest thing. I remember thinking Scoop Up was like the card hailed for the Lost Zone deck. Was like, oh yeah, this is the reason it's so powerful. I remember everyone saying that. Like it just gave it so much speed. And then I was like, oh yeah, you'll be fine. Lost Box still going to be good, but it's not going to be nowhere near. And it's like, oh yeah, people are still getting 10 in the Lost Zone turn 2. You know what I'm saying? Turn 7 and turn 1. It's like, oh yeah, no, you just needed to adapt. That's all. You just need to get all your confies out and just have a ton more like switch cards and stuff. And Jet Energies helped that a lot as well. And ultimately, I'm surprised to see it lose a card so good, such as Scoop Up Net, and still be at the highest level. That's how broken Lost Box is. It lost one of its most powerful cards and still is at the top. I think even if Sableye vanished, which is one of the more powerful cards, I still think Lost Zone Box would be at the highest level. I don't think it'd be as good, but it'd still be at an incredibly high level. That's how broken that deck is. Like I don't know what they decided to do for Lost Origins, but they said, let's just mess it up. Let's do another ADP. Let's have it. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, chill, Sean. It's not that bad. ADP is a whole different. Come on, man. Whoa.
I played ADP. Yeah. No, in my opinion, I think Lost Box is just as bad as ADP. Don't get me wrong. Now the format's much more varied. Cool, but Lost Zone at its peak, no, it's up there with like Mew at its peak, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you guys heard it here first.
Lost Zone gatekeeps the setting up decks. It does.
You guys heard it here first. You can go to Sean and Steuben believe that Lost Box is on par with ADP.
At its peak, yeah.
You guys heard it here first.
They're both gatekeepers, big time. ADP was a massive gatekeeper.
ADP was way worse, man.
I don't know, man.
I feel like with Lost Box, if you get your little guys out, if you get your little guys out, and you can evolve them in time. You can escape the shenanigans with Sableye. Was it easier when we had Big Parasol? Yeah, but I mean now we have, I guess, Espeon, and now we have Toadscrew coming out. So there's ways around Sableye. ADP, what can you do about ADP?
Yeah,
Crushing Hammer, maybe flip some heads, and
Pokemon
hopefully you get it. You didn't have that in standard.
Not in standard, no, but like whatever. I mean, still, come on.
Yeah, ADP, there was nothing. And to play that format, you had to play things like Dedenne. You had to play things like Crobat. And as soon as it comes down, that's just 3 prizes, and there's nothing you can do about it. There was ADP was
ADP was disgusting. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I don't know. Lost Box just give you that same feeling. It just gives you the feeling of like, yeah, this is just too good.
But they have to work to it. They have to get 10 in the Lost Zone. It takes time to do. It has to happen. You know what I mean?
Of course. But it happens quickly. Especially like turbo lost box.
Turn 2. It never happens by turn 1, but turn 2, you know.
Yeah.
They can't get 10 in there at turn 1. Can they? Is that Subin, is that possible? Crunch the numbers real quick. Do the math.
Wait, to get 10 in turn 2?
But depends if you go first or second.
Turn 1.
Turn 1, you would have to have like the mega nuts.
Yeah,
that's 4. And then 2 off chorus, that's 6.
No,
you would need to have
turn
a
1.
fourth.
You said turn 1 going first. You can't play chorus, so get that.
Just your turn 1. Just your turn 1 in general.
Okay. Chorus, and then you can
Then you force seal, and then lost vacuum. So that's 8.
That's
2. Force seal, lost vacuum again. You get the 10?
because lost vacuum gets rid of one in the hand and the stone, right? So that's 2 from a lost vacuum.
Yeah, and that puts you to 8. And then if you do it again, that's 10. You can't get to 10. But it's very unlikely to happen. So
yeah, don't get me wrong.
I don't. Who's playing 2 vacuums though?
I've seen a list playing 3 vacuums.
Turbos, right? The turbos.
Turbo's playing 3 vacuums.
Turbo specifically, then sure, I can see it there. But like, it's not. It's not very consistently going to happen at all.
No, but if someone gets sent in lost zone and they're stabilized setup, turn 1, then it's GG's, then it's gatekeeping. But I mean, that takes so much effort. ADP was just I attach and it's your turn. Okay, I attach again, and now I win.
I think for Rogue though, I still think Sableye is a massive gatekeeper. I'm just gonna say it. Like if you're playing Rogue and you're playing like single prizes who are on the lower end of HP, Sableye, Greninja, they're having a field day. I'm telling you, all they got to do is take out Manaphy, Greninja a couple things to a low HP, and Sableye goes rampant. Sableye is 110% for single prize decks that aren't big enough HP and tend to be more roguey. Literally, the only reason
you have to put Manaphy in like every deck.
Yeah. And even double up. Like you have to be, and even then, Sableye is just so good at targeting when it comes to that things. And Lost Box in and of itself is pretty good at targeting things. So, from my perspective on creating decks and playing so many Lost Box games, and making so many rogue decks, Sableye is still a massive gatekeeper, one of the biggest ones in my opinion as well. So yeah, ADP was pretty much uncounterable. But if you're talking in terms of what is gatekeeping rogue, which is what obviously I do, Sableye is up there with ADP for me, 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. There's ways around Sableye. It's not like just undefeatable, unbeatable. I can put down 2 70 HP Pokemon, and now they have to choose, okay, do I knock out one? Do I set this up? And then I can evolve the following turn. I don't know. There's ways around it. ADP, there's just nothing you can do.
Let's say your Pokemon that you've evolved gets KO'd. You have to then put down like a 60 HP, 70 HP Pokemon to keep up. And then Sableye's, oh, sweet. More for me. Echoing horns.
What is
a lot. Honestly,
it rubs its hands. Free real estate, baby.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we are good. The amount of times I've had that where I'm playing a deck and I'm like, well, I just lose. Like I've got literally one attacker. I need to get one down to evolve, and Sableye's here. I'm screwed. Literally done. And that's game over. And that's where it truly gatekeeps. Don't get me wrong. You have to get to 10 to do all that stuff, but you can do that by turn 2. Like if you're lucky, right? Yeah, I still think, from my experience, it's a huge gatekeeper, and I don't think Sableye should have been printed. I think Lost Box could have existed without that, personally, or maybe it was just not damage counters. It was just damage to the bench. So Manaphy had a bit more power with it. I don't know. I think Sableye was just they messed that one up in my opinion.
That would be good though. There was a Machamp, or not Machamp. There was a Machoke a few years back that stopped damage counters and bench damage. And that's fine because to get to it, you had to make the extra effort of evolving, and that was fine. That's a good, that's good game design right there. That's fine.
I remember that Machoke. Not every deck played it.
No. Yeah.
That wasn't
I think
super common.
Stage 1. Literally, stage 1 just makes it a little bit more awkward,
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And that was fair. If you want that extra, if you just want bench protection, you have Mr. Mime. But if you want the extra, where you can't place damage counters, you have to go the extra step with that stage 1 and the Machoke. And that's a fair exchange. That's fair.
Was damage counters big back then when Machoke was running around? Was there
Uh,
anything doing that kind of serious stuff? That's what I'm saying. Like now, Machoke would be everywhere, I think, or at least a lot more.
People running a 1-1 line of Machoke all the time. Yeah.
Like,
I get my Machop down. Where's my Machop? Yeah.
There were a few spread decks, but not too many to where it became a problem.
I don't think it was damage counter specific, was it? Was this when like there was like Tapu Koko and stuff?
Coco was a thing. Flying Flip, and then of course Decidueye, stuff like that. Those were all. Things.
There wasn't really enough to warrant it, right? Yeah, from what I remember. But yeah, regardless, yeah, that's kind of my hot take on Lost Box. But I'm a Lost Box hater, so there you go.
I don't mind Lost Box, and I feel like it's manageable.
Mhm.
ADP was just something else. There's to keep up with the pace of the game. I had to play my Crobat, and they're like, okay, cool, Crobat, I win the game. I don't know. It was wild.
Yeah, to be fair, it was a straight 180 for ADP in it. That said, I didn't play around the time where ADP I think was peaking. And that was with Zacian, right?
Yeah.
I think that's when I stopped playing a lot because it was just so that was just depressing. Very depressing. Yeah. Fully.
Yeah. A lot of people are happy that that at that time there were no tournaments, IRL tournaments, nothing in real life, because I feel like ADP would have just been everywhere in those tournaments.
We had cups,
regional,
and then everything shut off.
and everything shut. Yeah, everything shut down.
I remember
and at the time, people were still trying to find a
cups.
recipe for the deck. They couldn't quite figure it out. And after a while, they found the perfect 60. Everyone just net decked everything. Perfect. This is it. And then just started getting more cards added to it just to help it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at first, like the first variations were like ADP Keldeo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Keldeo GX, and then Blastoise Piplup saw a little bit of play with it too.
Mm-hmm.
It gave you the option, like the one or two bad matchups at the time where you could like heal everything with the Blastoise Piplup.
There was bad match. Well, okay, yeah, early on there, I guess there was bad match
because there were still more fairy cards at the time too.
Yeah,
people did play Whimsicott.
Yeah, Whimsicott GX, and that's true.
And then Zacian just kind of like came in and said, "All right, see ya, Whimsicott. Have a great day."
Yeah.
Yeah, Zacian, that was probably the best card in the format for a year and a half, maybe. That just had Zacian on its own. It drew you 3 cards, it attached energy, it hit for what, 230?
Yeah.
So it knocked out itself and knocked out any other basic Vs at the time. That Zacian was that was the best card.
I think if we still had that Zacian V, I think the V-Star would probably get played.
Yes.
Oh, because it's 200 tread, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's honestly a decent attack. 200 tread is pretty good.
I could see Arceus. I could see Arceus Zacian being an okay deck if we still had that Zacian V.
Yep. Yeah. I'll back that actually. Yeah.
Because in my first turn going first, if I attach Arceus and then draw 3 off Zacian, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, big swings, big swings.
Yeah. Well, apart from the fact that Zacian would be, I'm comparing it to Duraludon because it effectively is the 2-prize Duraludon, right? But without the ability, it's the fact that it's got that 200 shred. Duraludon's 220 shred, but the HP of 270 is quite weak actually. Duraludon, the great thing about Duraludon is the 330. It's just so hard.
No weakness, 330. Big boy.
Yeah, massive.
Thick boy. Massive. You don't have to worry about hitting for weakness because you're just shredding through everything. 220, 220, 220.
I mean, the Zacian V-Star, I think its attack has shred.
Yeah, it does. It's 200 shred, but it's Sean is saying that HP, and plus it has weakness too, weakness to fire. So you run into a random, I don't know, Skeledirge deck, you're in danger.
I mean, right now there's been a little bit of love. There's been a little bit of love for like Arceus Fire, the past couple of weeks.
I mean, speaking of Arceus Fire, let me pivot for a second. I went to that 3K at Dark Side Games. The number 1 seed in top 8, and he ended up losing in the first round. But this deck went, I think, 5-0-1. Was an Arceus deck, but here's the catch: it had Rayquaza VMAX in it.
Okay.
And if you guys check out our chat, YouTube, I posted the picture of it, and it was interesting. I seen a list similar, but I didn't think it was good. But this one was good, and he had a Delphox in there, and he would either charge up the Delphox with Arceus, or he would power it up using the Armor Rouge. Energy from the discard, movement to your active, and he would Delphox stuff 120, 120, because they wouldn't put down a Manaphy because they're like, oh, nothing to worry about. It's a fire deck. It's going to hit me hard, not hit the bench. And then Delphox come in and go 120, 120. And then they're down on their bench. And then at the same time, they had the Heatran charging up in the back. And if you don't take care of that Heatran, that Radiant Heatran, it becomes a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do like that list. 2 Magma Basins onto it. It's hitting for 280, 260 with the DTE and a single attachment or whatever. So yeah, it's got some. It
can be a problem if you don't take care of it. And meanwhile, you have Rayquaza charging up, swinging for who knows how much damage all the time. So it was a very interesting deck. He ran into a really bad matchup. He ran into Arc Dura Umbreon. And the guy tried to play around it, but the other guy had everything set up, and he just bossed up. Every time a Rayquaza came down, he made it a point to get to a boss and kill the Rayquaza. Kill the Rayquaza every single time. And at one point, he had him. The guy's name was Darius too. He had he had his Delphox out, and he took 4 prizes in a turn, and he had a chance to make a move, but just things didn't break the way he wanted them to, and he ended up losing in top 8. But it was just such an interesting deck. Pokey, Emmy, and I were like so shocked, like, wow, this is you don't see anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Delphox has always been a bit of, in my opinion, always been a bit of a sleeper. I think it's always been a bit of a card that people are like, you don't really think about. It might pop up every now and then doing a bit of something,
I think we'll see a lot more now too, with Charizard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, without doubt.
You just oh cool. I'll bench my Delphox. I'll rare candy Charizard. Here's 3 energy on my Delphox. Let's get in there with that attack. Yeah.
Run it. Yeah.
And it's a basic too, so that's true.
Yeah, easy. I remember playing it when it first came out with Arceus, and it surprised me. I was like, wow, okay. The only thing that was the downside was the low HP 2 prizer, but no, it honestly is quite good. It is good, especially with Arceus. Arceus, I think like I'd love to maybe redo a similar deck to this, but somehow find some lost cities, take out mana fees, make sure they don't get it back out, and then just start Delphoxing everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, that sounds like a good bit of fun.
Lost City would be good, but you have to worry about Magma Basin. You need Magma Basin. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Magma Basin would be a bit of an issue, but you could do a 2/2 easily, right? Because Starburst, you could probably find lost cities quite comfortably. So,
Sean, is this gonna be a YouTube video coming out pretty soon?
I'm thinking about it now. I'll probably get working on it after this. I can't.
Let's go.
I'm looking at it going, I might have to get some spice going again.
Hey, shout out Darkside Games and Darius, and take that deck, man, and turn it into a for the win exclusive, man.
Yeah, I'll mess about with it. But yeah, it's cool, man.
But yeah,
cool.
it was an interesting deck, and the whole 3K was interesting. There was so much Guardy and so much Lost Box, but only one of each made it to the top 8. Each top 8 had a different deck. So that was fun to see.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. That is nice.
But yeah, Pokey and I did our casting thing. She carried me, Stu. I can't even lie.
Yeah, she did.
You didn't have to agree with me, bro.
Hey, yo.
I'm trying to be humble and say, Amy did a great job. Yeah, she carried you guys. You're terrible.
Yeah.
Bro, dude.
No, I didn't say you're terrible, but you just did yourself, so.
Yeah, you threw it in. You
threw yourself under the bus, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, she carried, though. She carried. I went the night before, and Josh Hatter showed me, what to do and how to work stuff. And he showed me the stream deck. And I was like, okay, I can handle the stream deck, or Emmy can do it. We'll talk about it when we get there. And Emmy got there. She's like, I never used a stream deck before, but she knew how to use stream elements. We stream through stream elements, not OBS. And I said, well, I don't know stream elements like you do. I said, okay, you handle everything element wise, and I'll handle everything stream deck wise. And I couldn't commentate there I wanted to, because if they took a prize, I had to press, a button on the stream deck to take away a prize, to hide the prize, and hide this prize, and I had to do this and that, and I had to remove, count the lost zone. I'm pressing buttons like a telephone operator, in the 1960s. I'm over there tapping stuff like, yeah, I mean, that's true.
I like stream decks so much. I have 2 of them.
I want to get one of them. I think that would help me a lot.
Shout out to Elgato, not a sponsor.
Hey, I got the Elgato face cam, so yeah, shout out to Elgato, not a sponsor, but I mean, Elgato, if you want to. We're here.
I've got their cam link, if that's anything.
Yeah, that's
hey, the 3 of us are here. We're using Elgato, we're using 3 of your products. We're all here. We're all here right now. Just Stupid tag Elgato when this goes when you post this tomorrow, man.
No. Yeah, tag Hey, this guy's a reacher. He's a dreamer.
We're using Microsoft Windows. You want me to tag them too? At Bill Gates, we're using Microsoft to do everything we do all the time. Please give us money.
We don't mind money, please.
This is not a scam. Love Gazerbeam 2K. Totally.
But yeah, the 3K was fun, man. Emmy did a great job. I feel like I did okay. I was busy pressing buttons, but I feel like we did a really good job, and it was fun, and it came out really nice. I definitely hope we could do it again. I was talking to Josh and Andrew and everyone. They want to do this, a 3K like this, or at least a 1K, close to every set release almost. Mm-hmm. So like 4 times a year. I'm like, sheesh.
They can, if they'd love to have us both,
Like I said, I would love to do it again.
Send me
Emmy
out.
was great.
I would
I would love to do it again.
To come out and cast.
Like I said, I would love to do it again. And Emmy is a great co-host.
Are you still in the Steves? Are you still doing the webcam wars?
We are a little bit. We're on a little bit of a hiatus right now until I think Worlds. I also think Nick's like making some moves with his personal life at the moment, so we're just kind of like chilling for now. But we were still doing them up until NAIC, and We gave away a whole booster box of Paldea Evolved to the winner of a series, which was Harrison Birch. They played almost every week and did pretty well and got points. We did like a whole circuit kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we're working
Shout out to Harry.
on what we can do going forward and do it again and continue
Good,
it. But
yeah.
yeah, just a little bit of a hiatus right now with like the summer and the break and events. Plus now locals are back and championship
Cups,
point events, cups,
challenges.
challenges, full swing. So it makes it a little bit harder to like dedicate the time to go forward.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
understandable. I've got pretty cool.
life be life,
Literally,
life be doing stuff.
Mhm.
Life be life, yeah, for sure.
Life be life. And I missed my locals last week. I played in one yesterday. I took that. Have I shown you my Zoroark Gardevoir deck?
Yeah, you had it on stream. It was
Yeah, that was
abysmal.
stream, yeah.
It was abysmal.
And it worked. I took it last week. Locals went 3-1.
Would you play
Took it
juniors
last
and
night.
seniors the entire
Went
time?
2-1. What'd you say? No, I didn't play seniors the entire time. Although last night's match, I did play Manaya. I did play my stepdaughter. We ended up matching up. We both were 1-1, and I beat her. But I coached her through some of the stuff. And she played pretty well.
You
She
beat
played
her?
Gardevoir. I had to.
That is
Just let her-
tragic, mate.
Yeah. You're my daughter. You win. No, I've got to beat you so you learn.
I gotta sort this out, love. I'm sorry, I'm here to do business.
But no, I coached her through some of the moves. There's one time she didn't attack. So, well, no, look, psychic embrace, retreat, attack. She's like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah. So, but she played pretty well. She just misplayed like twice. But the Zoroark deck, it's fun and it kind of worked. But I wanted to take it to some challenges. My locals had a 6-day stretch of challenges from last Thursday to Tuesday. Challenge. I went to Thursdays, but I missed it. Didn't get there in time. Didn't get my deck list in time. Friday, I'm in Vegas. Saturday in Vegas. Sunday in Vegas. Monday in Vegas. And Tuesday, Jazzy and my wife and I had something going on. So I'm like, I miss every single challenge. But we have so many locals here that most of them are going to get cups. Most of them have challenges. I think by the end of October, we'll have maybe 8 stores that can host cups. So I'll be able to get some points around here. I might just go to Worlds based off of points. You know what I mean? Just these cups and challenges points. So hey, never set foot at a regional.
Yeah, you never know. It's doable. It's a little bit more of a grind, but it's doable.
Yeah, I'd rather do like our guy Andrew Hedrick, who we had on last week, and just win a couple regionals and go, okay, cool, I'm chilling. He literally won back-to-back regionals. Like, oh wow, I guess this is a thing now. But no, shout out to our local scene. Man, our local scene here is great. It's huge, man. It's growing, and I love it. I love the fact I'm part of it, man. I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I started playing IRL. So Sean, that's why I say I implore you, man, just start playing. It's fun. You meet people, you interact with people. It's a good time, man.
That's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, with where I am, London is surprisingly barren of a local scene. So strange. Well, the biggest city in our country is quite barren. There's a lot more going up in like places like Liverpool, Manchester, Nottingham. They're quite big places for Pokemon TCG. But London is just, I think that the culture down here, I've said this before, is just not open to that, personally. Very modern, I guess, in one way, but not very open to those kinds of things, from what I've seen on my side. I have not met a single person in my local area, I think in my life, since I've started doing this and being aware of it, that plays the Pokemon TCG. Apart from those who got involved from, being friends with me or something. So it's just so barren. Don't get me wrong. I'll go to a locals and there'll be people there playing it, right? But at the end of the day, here, there's just no scene for it in the slightest. There's, as I said, the locals, but nothing more than that. And it'd be kind of hard to grow that. I mean, there was a locals that was going on in my very local area, right? Like I'm talking like, if I get a bus there, it takes about 20 minutes. Even there, they opened up a Geek Retreat, which is pretty much the biggest brand for like this biggest card shop, I'd say, brand in the country. And they closed within like a couple months because there was just nothing happening. Literally, they were there and they were gone. Literally nothing. There is one card shop in my local area that isn't like towards the central of London. And even then, there's just no Pokemon tournaments. There's Yu-Gi-Oh, but no Pokemon. So in my part of London, there is like nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I have to travel quite a bit. But I will go to them, but I don't think there'll be a scene thriving in that kind of way. But I'm cool with that.
Well, when you find it, and just anything that's regionals that happen locally, EIC, head to those, man, and get a deck, start playing, and It's fun. Student, you can relate. You've been playing longer than I have, man. It's a good time. The people you meet, the interactions, right?
Oh yeah. Not often you'll find a bad egg or a turd in the punch bowl, but for the most part, everyone's super awesome.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I'll be going for a good time, and that's what matters to me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to when I get back from holiday going to the locals. I think that'll be my next step, priority wise.
That's what's up. Before we move on from Obsidian Flames, anything else we need to touch on in there? I found one card I wanted to talk about. Have you guys seen that Thunderous?
The one where it's in the active, protects your bench or whatever.
Prevents your bench. Yeah, and then for 2 energy you can swing 140.
But it hurts itself for 90.
Yeah.
And it's got 110 HP.
Yeah, if it had 120, it'd be so much better.
Nope.
Yeah,
you're just asking to get looped.
Well, I'm thinking, look, if it had 120 HP, it'd be so much better because you can put on emergency jelly. Yeah. You go down, to 30 HP left, heal yourself completely, and then you can't get a Cramorant. You can't get spit shot.
Crammed, yeah.
For that one, for if you had 120, but it has 110, which is kind of rough. But I look at it as a nice single prize option for something like Miraidon. Miraidon doesn't have a good single prize attacker.
Yeah, I back you for that. I think that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, just situationally, hey, here's 140, so I can hit through a random Mimikyu EX, or so I can do an even prize trade with a single prize deck, something like that. Because Miraidon's such a good deck, and it hits early and often. But trading 2 for 1 isn't the way to go for Miraidon. So I think it gives it another option, some more layers. I'm desperate, man. I want Miraidon to work. I missed that deck. I played it for like 3 weeks when it first came out, and I fell in love with it, but I hate it at the same time, and now I miss it. It's like an ex-lover. After a while you miss them. But I'm like, there's no single prize option. How do I make it better? So I don't know.
The new Miraidon, mate. Chien-Power's the new Miraidon.
Sean, don't do that.
It's a good spot. Miraidon was like the deck that people would take to a tournament, and a bit more like, well, I guess you could argue tier 2. And then literally Chien-Power came out and was like, yeah, that's my spot now. Cheers. And Miraidon kind of just disappeared a little bit.
Chien-Power needs so many pieces. It needs so many pieces. Think about it. You need your Chien-Power, you need water energy, you need a Baxcalibur or a Frigibax tail, you need a Baxcalibur in hand, you need a rare candy, you need Irida. Too many pieces going on. Too much.
That's pretty consistent, no? It's just what is it? It's just low HP 2 prizer, isn't it? I guess Miraidon suffers the same fate.
But Miraidon you just need freaking Raikou maybe, a Miraidon even, and you need to hit 1 generator and you're good to go.
Yeah. That's true.
So much simpler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't believe in Chien-Power anymore. I tried it for like 3 weeks. I tried like 5 different lists and nothing felt right to me, so I gave up on Chien-Power. Like I don't believe anymore. I see it doing well and decently. One made top 8 here at in the Dark Side 3K, and I think one was top 16 at NAIC. It does, it's doing well. It's top in places, but it's the third most played deck online on Limitless. But I don't believe in it anymore. No one can make me believe in it. I just don't see it. It needs so many pieces, and when you miss a piece,
no one believes in you. So
does that have anything to do with PTCGL, Chien-Power being the 3rd most played on Limitless? Do you think there's anything PTCGL related? Because it's like the deck that you get for free. It's easier to work towards, to complete. Maybe people like lean towards.
Well, no, I think a lot of those people are entering. A lot of people who get that deck for free aren't entering in Limitless tournaments, right? They're just playing casually for fun, just having a good time. The people are actually take to Limitless who are like, hey, I can win with this. Let me make a run with it in some type of tournament. So I think there's merits there. People like it, but I think it's not winning everything because it's too inconsistent. It needs too many pieces. You miss a moving part of it, and you're like, well, now what do? I have 3 energy. I need 4. I can't get there. I only have one Frigibax down. What do I do now? So I think it's just too many pieces that too many things can go wrong with that deck. Miraidon feels like
right?
Exactly. Miraidon feels like not a lot can go wrong, but if you miss something, then that's it. You have one line of play. If you miss it, like, well, now what? But like Frigibax, I'm not Frigibax. Chien-Power feels like just too much can go wrong, and if it goes wrong, you're just like, what do I do now? When everything goes right, though, it pops. It can go right and pop, but I don't believe in Chien-Power anymore. I lost all faith.
I do think though what Sean said, that PTCGL has something to do with it. I think he's onto something there, because like I've seen a lot of people, especially in Twitch streams, like complain like it's hard to get cards. I don't have codes. I don't want to spend money. Because it is a free deck that they give you, it makes it easier to craft the minimal pieces needed. You can't just assume that like everybody came from PTCGO and has everything and has heaps of dust and crystals and stuff.
No, you're right. But I mean, I don't think that translates to playing on Limitless, does it?
Potentially, yeah, because they see like, oh, cool, I could win codes for prizing, and then potentially go that route. I think there's a little bit of a merit to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's the whole picture. I think it might help it be a bit more popular there, you know. But then is Gardevoir, obviously I know is one of the most popular anyway. But what's that on Limitless? That's number 1, isn't it? Is Gardevoir number?
Is it Guardian or Lost Box number 1? Which one is it?
I haven't looked in a while. I think now it's like it might even be Arceus Dex, to be honest with you.
Guardian's number 1, Arceus 2nd, Lost Box, Inteleon's 6th. Crazy. That's wild.
I mean, it's a good deck. It's a big brain deck. It's a good deck. You have to plan your strategy out like two turns in advance. You have to plan out 2 turns in advance. But it's a good deck. It's a very good deck. Cool.
Yeah, I've always got interest as to how like the PTCGO affects that kind of stuff. You know, it does interest me. But I want to see how Twin Leaf comes. You don't know about Twin Leaf, right? I want to see how that pans out.
Yeah, we'll see how they handle everything. I've been following them all and keeping an eye on it, but there's not enough information really to go off of just yet, other than what they want to do.
So we got to get them boys on there, man. We got to talk to Jake Gearhart and everybody. We got to get the boys on this podcast.
I'm sure it depends. I mean, I'm speaking to one of the developers. He's a fan of my channel, but it's looking promising. They do want to take everyone's advice in. That they've asked me for some input here and there. So they definitely care. Yeah, I mean that's not a leak or anything. He's made it public on my Discord that he'll be reaching out to me for stuff. So
you guys heard it here first. For the Win TCG is a big time name now and is getting asked advice from. That's good though. I mean that's what a lot of it feels like. And maybe it's the fact it's more of a they're coming from the heart of wanting to play the game, a game that works. That's what it feels like it should be. Ask your player base, ask your fan base. What works, what shouldn't work, what would you like to see, what do we need? And there was a couple of times where I think the developers of PTCGO did that, but some of those things just didn't translate. Like I know one of the main nitpicks that people have is when you win the game, you have to take your last, couple prizes, whereas, PTCGO should just take them for you. And even before that, PTCGO had you take your own prizes as well. And then eventually that became like a slice of life, convenience where it did it on its own and we all got used to it. And now that it doesn't happen, it's kind of jarring, like, wow, I have to press okay, here I go, taking my own prizes. And just something little like that was a problem early on in PTCGO, got fixed and, updated later on. And now it's back in this new game. It's something that should be like rectified like just immediately. It should be an easy fix, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a backtrack, isn't it? They clearly didn't use PTCGO as a foundation for their client. They just
the template was right there, in my opinion. The template was right there.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. They completely messed it up. But
yeah, and even though they asked players, what improvements should we make, it seemed like some of those haven't translated yet. So the fact that the Twin Leaf guys, and Jake Gearhart, shout out to Jake Gearhart and everyone like that, they're asking people like you and other creators, what they want to see. This is great. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, because I know the Twin Leaf is just like, they just announce it and then they kind of just vanished a little bit. But they're developing, right? They're doing what they should be doing, right? But I can say from my perspective that they definitely, undoubtedly care far more than PTCGO devs, without a doubt. The only time PTCGO communicates is more of a sake of either one, I wouldn't even say damage control, but if it was, it would be that, or just to kind of effectively keep us quiet. That's what it seems like whenever they do talk about it. It's like, oh yeah, this is happening. All right, yeah, bye bye. That's kind of what it feels like when it comes to at least the Pokemon company's way of talking about PTCGO. The devs, don't get me wrong, that's a bit different, but I don't know, man. There's a massive disconnect with the people working on PTCGO and the community, and it could easily be solved if they just took the time to speak to people who use it and go, what do we need to do? And how do we do it? Or, well, to be fair, not how, but what do we need to do? What's your ideas? But it seems like they're not even open to that much anymore, because they've got such a backlog. They're just playing catch up all the time. And the reason they're doing that is because they didn't do what they should have done first, which is what Twin Leaf are doing now. And that actually is think about it. Ask people if you don't know. Really care. So the good thing about Twin Leaf, from what I can tell so far, is that the developers actually, they are a part of the community, right? They're members of the community who play the game, who see the problems of PTCGO themselves and go, okay, We're going to try and take it on ourselves with the backing of Dan TDM, which is fantastic. And yeah, they're taking the necessary steps. So I'm looking forward to Twin Leaf. That's why I am. If it was just like, oh, they announced it and then they vanished, I'd be like, oh, I don't know. But the fact that they have reached out and stuff and do want to provide a good user experience is definitely gives me some optimism that PTCGL didn't give at all.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Give them some time to get the product rolling and
be patient with them, definitely.
Just stick it in there for now and hang out with PTCGL while we wait.
You guys heard it here first. Sean of For the Win TCG says PTCL doesn't care about players or anyone else.
Whoever calls a shot, definitely not.
Dang, he doubled down. I thought you were gonna backtrack. Like, no. You doubled down. Sheesh.
No, I think that, yeah. I mean, unless it's proven, actions speak louder than words, man.
That's true, and that's exactly true. Something there's, like I said, just even the little thing should have been done, or it should have been some more communication, like you say. They usually communicate when something goes wrong. Hey guys, we're working on this. We're gonna fix it. This card is banned in the meantime. You're right. I'll give you that. You're right.
Mm-hmm. I know it's a bit of a downer, but it is what I think to be true. I mean, I gave him, in my own way, I gave him a chance during the beta. Right, and when the beta's over, I was like, okay, is there going to be anything different going on? No, it's just
same
all
stuff.
All the beta was a title. There's an extra title, right? That's what it was.
They gave us some sleeves and a coin. Like, here you guys go. You played in the beta. Here.
Thank you for taking part of the beta. Here is the same game with barely any changes. It's like, no, you just wanted to call it a beta, and then you've had some sort of requirements or time constraint to have it officially released by this point, given its delays by the higher ups at TPCI. So yeah, I just think that a lot of it, maybe there's people who are developing the game who do care, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to put everyone in one boat, but whoever is calling the shots, whoever it is that is determining what path they take, how things should go. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think they give a damn. I'll be honest. I don't think they give a single damn. Not at all.
I like that take, though. I respect that take. Stephen, why can't you be more vocal like that, man?
Every time I say anything, you criticize me, so.
Ha!
I'm just going to keep
You got to back your brother, Gazer. Back your man.
I think it's about that time, isn't it, Stephen?
For your Torture Fest, yeah.
No, this is the game that's sweeping the nation. Sean, you weren't here for this, man. It just started a while ago. People love this game. They can't stop talking about it. Everyone is just, everyone can't wait to this part of the podcast. It's now time for a game that we like to call, and by we, I mean Stupin and I, because he loves this game too. Where they from? I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you 3 questions about 3 Pokemon who tend to be forgotten. And you got to tell us, where are they from? You might forget. You might not be sure. They're so forgettable. But, you have to recall, your memory banks and try to recall where they're from. You can use the generation. So you can say Gen 1, Gen 5, Gen 6. Or you can say, the region. Sinnoh, Hoenn, Paldea. Whatever works best for you. You have maybe a second to answer the question. And if not, you get a buzzer on that one. Subin, you got the buzzer queued up?
No.
Oh, all right. Are you going to cue it up for us?
Sure.
And if you get it right, you get the sounds of cheering kids. Subin, you got those kids ready for us?
Yeah, they're ready to go. If they don't behave, they'll get put through the blender.
There you guys go. You
let out of the basement.
Let those kids out the basement.
You mess with Gazer, you go in the blender.
But Mr. Gazer, sorry, but no. We're taking the top scorers from this season. Anyone who goes 3 for 3 will win a special prize. What the prize for this will be a all expense paid trip to where are they going, Stephen? I don't know. Paldea?
It's not a real place, so sure. It's real cheap, real cost effective.
We'll just put on the VR goggles and say, here you go. You're going to Paldea. You'll be excited. You'll like it.
No, we can't afford VR
but,
goggles. You'll get Nintendo Labo.
Yeah.
But,
the cardboard.
I think we've only had one person go 3 for 3. And it was a tag team event. It was some of our breaker friends, Furion and ADL. They went 3 for 3. And they bribed us in code cards, which is fine. So, Sean, if you want to bribe us in anything, you can also go 3 for 3.
A collab.
Okay, so first Pokemon, Pikachu.
Wait, what?
Where's Pikachu from?
Oh, Pikachu. Kanto. Yeah.
You did it. You got it. You did it. I definitely need that collab, Stu. I got to do it. No, okay. You ready? You ready, Sean?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. First Pokemon, Mincino.
Oh God. Gen 3?
Steuben.
Oh, brother, this guy.
Oh, yikes.
Mincino is from Gen 5.
Yeah, no. That's from the Mantis one, isn't it? Yeah.
Let's see if I find someone else you might have forgotten about. Okay, next Pokemon, Aeroscuda.
Gen 6?
I'm sorry. Aeroscuda is Generation 8, Sword and Shield.
Bruh.
That's why I didn't know it. What's Aeroscuda?
Sean. Aeroscuda is the one that Cramorant spits out.
Oh, okay.
And the last Pokemon here. Let's see if we can get this one correctly. This one should be pretty simple. Skorupi.
Gen 7?
Oh man, Steuben.
What's a Skorupi?
Steuben, you got a sound for us?
I went too far deep in the soundboard.
He went down the rabbit hole. He's too far.
Anything I hear, this might work.
Oh no.
Oh no. No, Skorupi is the pre-evolved version of Drapion.
Skorupi. What did you say?
Yeah, Skorupi. Sorry, Sean. You went 0 for 3. You missed literally everything. Can we still collab though?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yes, yes. I'm the real winner here then.
Congratulations,
Yeah, no,
you've been scammed.
But no, that was the game. Where are they from? Sean, you got to work on your generations, man. You got to know your generations and your regions.
I work on my cards, you know. I work on my cards.
He does the cards. Steuben, did we miss anything? Is there anything else going on?
We have a little bit of Q&A, but I don't know how many of them are real. Because two of these go together. Anti-Loader says, why is Steuben better than Gazer Pokemon? But then QWERTY asked, Steuben, do you pay people to say that Gazer is better than you? I don't pay anyone anything. First of all, that's like the complete opposite of what Anti said. So what's the line from Billy Madison, where you both get nothing, may God have mercy on your souls, and everyone in this room is now dumber for having to listen to you?
What are you trying to say here, Steuben?
You know, I don't know. We have one real question, and this is from Rogue Trainer PTC. Do you guys ever feel that the rise in, quote, factions, unquote, if that's the right word, excluding some people, or making other people feel that way, like collecting members or it becoming a popularity contest? Not my view, just curious to see what if there was a possible train of thought that people experience. So to reiterate that into a more questionable question,
question.
I feel like they're asking us if there's like cliques that gatekeep in the Pokemon communities, not just necessarily the playing, since they mentioned collecting.
I haven't experienced any myself, so I'd be out of touch with this.
Gazer, what do you think, Stu?
I really don't have an opinion. Ultimately, I think that's more of like collecting. I think the playing community is pretty solid in general in terms of like streaming, content creation, tournament scene. There might be people that withhold information, but that's just like secret deck tech. That's just part of the game itself. So
yeah,
like
you're not going to give away your tech.
Yeah, like if you're playtesting groups onto, say, insert this card into insert this deck, they're not going to give that information away like publicly.
Who would?
And you have like article people that write, sell articles and so on and so forth. But again, that's more of I think a service or an information sort of thing.
That's not clicky or factiony.
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
if anything's clicky is like there's a VGC group, there's a collector group, there's a TCG group, there's a Unite group, there's a Go group. But even then, like people intertwine and have interest in all of them.
That's just interests.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
so that just varies on what do you like to play? What do you enjoy? We all enjoy Pokemon as whole, but some enjoy cards, some enjoy the VGC, some enjoy just Unite. So I mean, I wouldn't go that far to say that. I wouldn't say anyone's gatekeeping. I guess you could say there's factions. But I wouldn't say anyone's gatekeeping. Like I wouldn't go that far.
No.
Yeah,
there are people have different similar interests, but are different from the type of genre or whatever you're into. That's fair. That's fine. But no one's gatekeeping, I don't think.
Yeah, one thing I like about this community is the open dialogue. I like that. I like that people just kind of talk about what they want to talk about with relation to the Pokemon TCG. People have takes, whatever, bad takes, good takes. I have bad takes, I have good takes. Everyone does, right? But the fact that people are just willing to talk about it, and take someone saying to them, "Oh, you've got a terrible take," or someone else saying to them, "You've got a good take." I think the fact that we just ultimately we're all interested in it, so we all just kind of talk about it, regardless of whether our take is bad or not. We just like the discussion. I think that community is pretty good with that. A lot of hot takes, but but open discussion ultimately when it comes to that. So I think that's really good of our community. I don't think people are very afraid to say what they think about something in regards to the Pokemon TCG in our community. I don't see much of that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But you're right, a lot of hot takes. People will say things.
Oh yeah.
It might be how they feel, but they say things. Knowing you have to say like they know that people are going to disagree. It's going to be viewed kind of divisive. So yeah, I guess you could say a lot of hot takes, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. But nothing divisive particularly.
Yeah.
In any sort of real sense. There's obviously opinion dividers, but that's just opinions. I think a lot of our community is pretty good at being able to understand that it's just an opinion on a card game. It ain't that deep, which is quite nice. There's some that take it too far, but very, very rarely.
Yeah, I don't vibe with that statement at all. So yeah, I think we're all pretty chill so far. I haven't really had any awful interactions with anyone specifically or whatever like that. So yeah.
I mean, when you met me, you gave me a hug, so I guess you're right.
He's not gonna let that go.
That's how I know he cares. That's all. When Sean, Sub, and I get behind the scenes, let me pull back the curtain real quick so everyone can hear this. Behind the scenes, Sub and I get into it sometimes, and we get into
Who
it.
doesn't though? Who doesn't?
He calls me names. I call him names. I threaten to quit. He quits. We go back and forth. But I always have to remind myself, he gave me a hug at NAIC. He really does, view me as a friend. He really does care. Do we hate each other at times? Yes. But, at the end of the day, we still love each other. So, he gave me a hug.
The only person I hate is myself. The only person I hate is myself.
Who's the next person?
Oh no.
Who doesn't people who doesn't like who? I've heard Hitler was a bad guy. I don't like him. Come on, let's be realistic. Come on. I don't hate anybody other than myself sometimes. That's straight up truth and honesty. What is it? Imposter syndrome and all that kind of stuff. And yeah.
Hey, so do we ever leak the DMs out, man? Put them on a website?
You and I will both never see the light of day in the Pokemon community ever again if we do.
You know how much that Patreon would get, though, man?
You know how much we swear at each other, or at least I swear at you and call you an idiot?
Yeah, oh, yeah. But imagine, behind a paywall, Patreon, $10 to view the website. Before we get canceled, we'll make a lot of money.
I don't think so. We really don't make any money as it is in the first place, so...
So when I seen a question, but you got rid of it too quickly, I'll ask it anyway. Maybe you guys can answer it. Anti-Loader asked, and I remember this, you deleted it though. Why do people blame Gazer?
I don't know.
Because you're the easiest target, I guess. I don't know.
I'm tired of all this blame, man. I'm really a good guy deep down on the inside.
Yeah, you got to blame yourself for that though.
Okay. We'll never get an answer then. We'll never know. It's just blame. We need to get On Guard back in here. On Guard and Vulcan Turtle. They started this, man. 9 card. It's their fault.
All right, we have one more question, and this one's serious. This one's from Curly TCG. Advice on stopping addictive behaviors, as in when you initial that clean state. When did you or do you not do to go back? Oh, let's just. I'm gonna have to not read these questions because they're paragraphs or whatever. But basically, they say that they've developed an addictive personality, and they're trying to clean up. Hearing us was uplifting. So any advice that we can give them on stopping addictive behaviors? If I have anything to say, you don't have to do it alone. Get your friends, your family, your partners, significant others, whatever, friend group, local community. You don't have to do it alone when it comes to anything like that.
My advice, and we talked about it earlier, and Curly, I know Curly listens a lot. Curly's one of my he's pretty close to being a local, hour and a half away from me, Bakersfield, California. So I know he listened earlier, so he'll listen back later. But Curly, when you hear this part, and this goes for anyone listening, do not surround yourself with enablers. Anyone who says, "Oh, you're 100% right," anyone who agrees with you at all times, anyone who's just like, "Hey, that's fine. What you're doing is okay." Find someone who's actually going to tell you, who's going to say, that you're in the wrong on that. Hey, that's not right. Hey, if you need help, I'm here for you. Find someone who supports you that way. Don't put yourself around enablers, because they'll do exactly that. They'll enable the problems you have. They'll just help you with it and go on with it. And if you're trying to stop doing something, you don't need that. Keep yourself away from enablers. And like students said, reach out to actual friends and family, true friends will, call you out on your BS, stuff like that.
Yeah.
My piece would be genuinely, honestly seek real, genuine professional help. I think that's undervalued. I think that's almost stigmatized. But the best, when it comes to getting rid of the issues I've had, it's always been when I've reached out to someone professionally, and it will only work if you trust them fully. You have to immediately trust them fully and go, right, I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to answer every question you have. I'm going to let you guide me through this, and I'm going to commit. And that's what it is. You have to be ready to commit. But ultimately, once you have been ready and you are ready to commit, you go to a professional, because it's going to be difficult. You're going to suffer. Yes. You will, right? That's inevitable. You're going to suffer because you're losing something your brain thinks it needs, not wants, but needs, right? Which is serious. So you're going to suffer a lot, but you have to be willing to take that and bear that, and then have faith in the fact that there is another side to it, that after that suffering, you will not only feel better, but be better. You will be more confident in yourself, in your ability to take on things that are hard, and be more aware of how you fall into addiction as well. And that's all done through seeking genuine professional help. So that's what I would say.
I agree that transparency is huge. Saying, you know what, I need help, and I need someone who can help me with this. That transparency is huge. If you can't sit there and say, I have a problem, I need help. Yeah, and the trust is huge, man.
In the person helping you, 100%. You have to trust them fully, and it will work. You just have to ride through it, and then it'll work, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Gotta be real with yourself and just, trust, believe.
Mm-hmm. Fully.
I think that was the best answer we ever had to anything.
Yeah.
We did good.
That was all him, bro.
Hey, you said your part. I said my. It's a collective. It all came together.
Yeah, we did it.
Someone's gonna go back and listen to it. Look, breaking the fourth wall. Curly's in here right now. Someone's gonna go back and listen to this, and Curly's he listening right now. And they're gonna put all three parts together, and this whole little 3-minute spiel we're on. It's gonna, it might spark some change in someone that they need. So I'm happy we can have real moments like this, man.
And as I've always said, never be afraid to reach out to Gazer and I. We're pretty good with getting back to DMs and stuff. Mm-hmm. Worst case scenario, you just want somebody to talk to, join our Discord server, join our individual Discord servers, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. We're here for all of you, because you're all here for all of us every week with these episodes and listening. So
getting emotional. Getting emotional getting there. But no, during COVID for myself, I lost myself, man, because I couldn't interact with people the way I was used to, and I didn't know who I was, or I didn't know that was a huge part of me. If you guys can't tell, I like to run my mouth and talk and have a good time. Couldn't do that during COVID. Everything was shut down, and a lot of my family and friends were working a lot. So when I started streaming, that was a relief for me, and that people like Passman to Guaps, YouTube, and you guys at that time carried me for that year, man, of me just not losing my mind. And I've had people reach out to me, saying things, how I helped them out. Josh Hatter, matter of fact, said I helped him get through, that COVID year. And people reached out and said things like that. And even to this day, people still reach out and say, Gazer, can I talk to you? Gazer, and I'm here for all of you guys. Like Susan said, we are here for anyone because you guys have been here for us. And that just, I get a little emotional on that point. But yeah, if anyone ever needs to talk, man, I'm down. Let me know.
Well said. That's all I can say. So we've covered everything. The only thing we're not doing this week is stonks, because again, I give you the normal speech. Don't pay crazy pre-order prices for cards.
Just get on the soapbox first, man. Step up there. Get on the soapbox.
No. I will say though, if you're gonna buy anything, remember to check out darksidegames.com and use code GOW10 for 10% off of singles.
Cow.
So I know they will heavily list cards at release date and as well as product. So when you buy the singles from them, use that code. Support us, support them because they're supporting us. So
quick stonks question though: what card? Because there's always a card during these pre-releases that goes for $200. What card do you think that'll be this time?
It's gonna be Charizard, obviously.
Charizard, yeah.
Which Charizard? Which Zard?
Any of them. Any of them. Any of
Not
them.
any of them.
The gold one, the full art, the regular, the Terrestrial full art.
Beautiful.
They're all just don't. And what's unfortunate for this time is it's probably in a vacuum the most playable EX in the set, even the regular one. In a vacuum.
I like Glamora, but yeah, you're probably right. Oh yeah, okay, you're right.
Like it's probably the only pure archetype that will come out of this set that is going to get hype, and because it's unfortunately a Charizard, we're probably going to see that regular EX probably for at least a couple weeks be $20 to $30. Because if we look back in time, we look at Palkia, we look at Lugia, those were $20 Vs, $30 V stars for a couple weeks.
Miraidon, Chin-Pao.
Miraidon was $15, $20 for a week or two. Chien-Pao was $10, $15 for a week or two.
Yeah.
The fact that this has Charizard on it and in it also invokes the collectors who just want those cards. So be careful with your need to have it. Settle for something else like Glamora or Reverum if you're on a budget. Do not expect to make big returns from this. And again, we haven't seen crazy pull rates yet. There's not enough data. There's not enough product that has been opened yet. We'll see what happens with pre-releases this weekend. So make sure you go support your local game stores and play in those pre-release events if you have the opportunity to do so. I mean,
I think I'm doing about 3. How many are you doing, Stupid?
I'm running one and probably just playing in one somewhere else if I can.
Okay.
I would rather go to a cup or a challenge than a pre-release at this point in time, especially with the amount of cards I want from this set.
I know, right? I do it for the interactions, the fun.
Mm-hmm. No, they are fun. It's some of the most fun you can have.
Product. Yeah, I used to do it for the extra product because, if we have a few shops here that if you get your 3, extra packs for participating, but also if you go undefeated, you get 2 more packs and stuff like that. So I used to do it to try to cash out on extra packs. But this set, nothing too ridiculous that I want to get. So I'm like, between that and between anything I can get my hands on from anywhere else, I should be fine. So I think I'm gonna just do 3, 4 throughout the whole.
Remember, Gazer, you're also getting a booster box delivered from Darkside, so keep that in mind when you're spending. Just saying.
And speaking of booster boxes, you already got your hands on one, didn't you? Not from Darkside, which you're getting as well. Shout out to Darkside with the sponsorship. We appreciate you guys. Content from Darkside, from our opening through Darkside, will be coming soon. But you also have content that you're going to be posting tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. Thank you, TPCI, for the love once again. We got the ETB, the booster box, and then I got this awesome Obsidian Flames pen that I used at the League Cup this past weekend, and then there's a bookmark that I gave to Emily to use for her reading. So good
it seems
stuff.
like every third set is like some type of dark fire set, isn't it?
Yeah, Burning Shadows, Darkness Ablaze. Then there's this.
Obsidian Flame.
We go all the way back to even X and Y. I mean, what was it? A Flash Fire was the third set.
I thought it was third set. It was the second set. I thought it was the third.
Yeah, whatever. Furious Fist was the third one, and that was where they got some good cards. So
I enjoy Furious Fist. That's when I started playing the game online again.
Lucario EX baby won me my first league challenge.
It won me a challenge. I like Lucario EX. Sean, did you see that one? It had 3 attacks, man. 3 attacks.
I did, yes. I don't remember much of it, but I remember getting into the game and that
30 for 1, 60 for 2, and you
Draw
draw
until
until
you
you
have
have 6 cards in hand. And then the third one was like 150, but you had strong energy, and you had muscle band, and you had fighting stadium and halucha, and it just turned into be a big beat stick. Plus you had the bat line to ping damage counters for easy knockouts. It was such a fun deck.
It was fun. I really enjoyed Furious Fist a lot. When I first started playing, I just had a few codes and a few cards, and I got my hands on a couple Machamps, the regular Machamps. They added 20 damage. So I played the Lucario deck with the Machamps, and it was kind of clunky sometimes. But when I got it going, Lucario's just hitting everything for like 200 damage, one-shotting everything. Just damn, man, that was fun, man. But yeah, that was the third set.
Beat sticks are my favorite. I love beat sticks. For me, the closest one I remember to that was probably Buzzword GX. That was a beat stick that I really liked.
That got just.
I
like
think
the ones
pushed everything too.
The other than the EX, like I said earlier, Reveroom's probably the first deck I want to build. I actually really want to build Palafin, because it's like Golisopod and Buzzwole in one package.
It does look kind of sick, Palafin. I do like the look.
Was it 210?
210 for 2 if it moves up, and then you have Jet Punch for 30 and 30. So I will 100% be building Palafin, even if I just play little kids at League with it.
Okay, you guys heard it here first. Subin will beat kids at his local league. So all seniors and juniors, beware.
No, I'm kidding.
Hey, yo.
I think we're done here.
All right, at this point in time, Sean, the floor is yours. Any plugs, shout outs you want to give, anything you want to say, take it away.
Just follow TCG on YouTube and also on Twitch. I do stream a bit more occasionally now. But that'll be it. Yeah, thank you.
You have a Twitter too, don't you? Or I'm sorry, you have an X as well, don't you?
I have an X, FTW_TCG. That is correct. Yes. Yeah.
Of course, all
probably
the
see me
links.
complaining about PTCGO.
All the links down below in the show notes and/or description, depending on what audio platform you're listening, or if you're watching the video on Spotify. Hopefully you enjoyed our goofiness and when Gazer's doing the game show. Pay close attention to me strangling myself. Oh Lord, and go check out everything that we have down there. Support all the sponsors and everything. So much love. Please leave a review, like we talked about at the beginning with the review article that went out there. Hopefully we can bump Gazer Suck 69's review down to the bottom on whatever platform that's on.
I like that guy.
And also, if you're on Apple, please send me a screenshot of that. If that's an Apple review, I would love to know, because I have no idea. That has to be Apple, because Spotify, you don't type anything in, you just put stars.
Yeah, I never seen that one. Gazer Suck 69. I like that guy though.
Oh God. But yeah, that'll do it for us. Much love, everybody. Hopefully you enjoy the episode. Of course, leave the reviews, all that kind of stuff. Gazer, do you have anything you want to add?
No.
All right. That's it. See y'all next week. Much love.
We're
Peace out.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.